Hey, everybody, welcome to the show, 185. So, any dirt on Bill before he shows up, says Brett Mixon. I have no idea. Is there any dirt on me out there? There could be, but well, it's been a busy, eventful week as always. Lots of stuff going on. We have probably more video clips to show tonight than I've ever had. I don't even know. I think we've got about 6 different things that we've got set up for everybody. Even a little video clip that of some stuff that Ronald Shepard sent me last week during the show that I couldn't pull off and show at that time, but some pics that he had taken while he was at OAX last month. It is, and it's over a month now, isn't it? Shoot, it's 29th. So, and it's a leap day of all things, right? This could be the only time this ever happens for this show or any show on the Comic Card Live channel to have a leap show going on. But yeah, it's all good. So we got a big busy show tonight. So we're gonna get things started off with Mr. Layton. But before we bring him on camera, we got to see what he's been up to this week. If anybody saw my newsletter today, you saw that he had a crabgasm right on camera, ready for you. So we're gonna see it, and and I hope it's as good for you as it was for him. We're gonna find out.
Okay, Bob, what you got there?
Are you filming?
Yeah, I'm filming.
Okay. Well, we're back at the raw crab place, but we're going to have 2 different kinds of raw crab tonight. We're going to have this one, the one that's in soy sauce, and then we're having a spicy one that's coming in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So,
yeah.
this is for you, Bill.
Also for Tom Hanks.
For Tom Hanks, yes. Because we had Castaway on a little while ago, and he tried to eat a raw crab, and it was like disgusting. He lost his cookies, and you didn't know what he was missing.
Yeah, right. We were sitting down there going, all that wasted. Red Bob, what you wearing?
All right, well, I'm putting on protective gear. Now, last time we did this, it was for atomic chicken feet, but tonight we're going to have. We're having super spicy crab. Look at all the red sauce on this. Is that like insane?
Yeah.
Anyway, here you go.
For Tom Hanks.
Well, I didn't get any crab. That was just cabbage. Okay, there we go. All right.
That's for you, Tom.
Holy crap.
Oh,
I think I like the spicy crab even better.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fun.
Crabgasm. We should have crabgasm.
Okay. Hey, guys, we're here for another episode of Drink and Draw. And tonight, I got Impio, our president, and I have our founder and co-owner of the store here, Joey. You guys were complaining you haven't seen him in a while. Say hi, Joey.
Here I am.
There he is. He's actually going to be on the show. He's going to do it live with me tomorrow from the shop. So, Impio, tonight, what are we doing?
We're doing food.
Food?
Yes.
And why are we doing food, Joey?
Well, I'm making a new print menu, and we'll add some really cool stuff to the menu, so it'll make our menu look good. We can also use it to promote Drink and Draw.
Yeah, so we're going to actually draw what Joey sells here in the store. You know, pretty much. Characters eating burgers and fries and all the other wonderful things, and drinking drinks, perhaps.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we'll do, something in that regard. But anyway, so on with the show, right? Yeah. Let's do it. Okay.
Let's do it.
Give the sound of Bora making cappuccinos. Oh, look, you finished the scarecrow. Here's a flashback to last week's show. It looks great. Oh, that's wonderful. I was thinking about Galactus because he eats everything. Yeah. But you turned his helmet to a chef's hat. I love that. That's great. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yes, that's really creative. I love that. You always come up with the best stuff. So drinking. Oh wow, 3 drinks at once. That's great.
I'm going to draw a chili dog.
So you're trying to do an animated chili dog?
Yes.
That's great. Yeah. And for those, Laura, do you mind to say hi to America? Hi to Laura, because she's new here. Because we do a podcast on Thursday nights in America. It's about drink and draw. And since you're new, I thought I would introduce you. This is Bora.
Hi, I'm Bora.
Thank you, darling.
Hey, who's back? Joey.
And look who's back on the show.
Yeah, get out here so people can see the top of my head. All right.
Wow, your sound quality is terrible, Joey.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you sound muffled.
Yeah,
let me
over your microphone.
let me see.
Anyway, Bill, well, greetings from
How was that?
rapidly freezing South Korea, where right now the temperature is 19 degrees outside. We got an Arctic blast come in, and like yesterday it was in the 50s. It literally just dropped during drink and draw, like 20 degrees. By the time we came out, it was absolutely frigid. It's only going to last a couple of days, and then next week's supposed to be balmy and in the 50s.
Sorry, I
So,
muted Joey because he's having a little.
Joey, you're muted.
I muted you, Joey, because there was some feedback coming through your microphone too. Yeah, we can't hear you though.
I hear you.
If I turn them on again, we can see if it's any better.
All right, try it. Joey,
Yep.
can you hear us?
Yeah,
Oh, you sound better now.
It does sound better.
I had headphones in, but I guess maybe the mic wasn't really good on the headphones.
No, probably not. You sound.
There's a lot of background noise in this place because I've got a lot of machines running and stuff. So
You're getting ready for the daily special, right? To get it, the lunch
I'm open.
special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and listen, Bora was making cappuccinos all during the shoot last night, so it's like, hey, background noise just comes with the territory, man. But anyway, everybody was asking for you, so here he is.
Yeah,
Joey.
but the other things, there's not other people trying to talk in the stream too. So,
Mm-hmm.
and when I've done this on Zoom calls, it's people can't even hear anything because I've got fans running and heaters and all that stuff. So,
Yeah,
all
you're
right.
gonna need.
But it
heaters.
sounds fine.
So Bob, how was that spicy crab? I bet that would warm you up on a cold day.
That thing was. I got to tell you, they really piled on the red spice on that thing. What was really weird was I come home and wash my face and take the towel. The towel is red from all the spice on there.
You just dive right into the bowl, don't you?
It was crazy good. But as I was telling Joey the other night, because when it's like, I don't know if it's really that great for the money. It's really an expensive place to go. I mean, that little dinner that Simone and I had was about $100. And
Wow.
it's like, yeah,
Out of there.
yeah, and they don't even cook it. What do you want? But I was thinking of you because I said, look, I finished with Simone's art lesson. I said, let's go grab something to eat. And we were going to go down to get some jjimyeon, and then we passed the crab place. I said, hey, you know what? They have to have something here that will gross Bill out. Let's go into the crab place and see if they have another dish.
I've not had raw crab before. I can tell you that.
Yeah, well, it's unique. I like it. Don't get me wrong, but again, I was telling Joey, it's about the cost of my groceries for the week here. So
Well, a lot of those places are frequented by companies doing company meals and stuff that they'll go out and Samsung pays for it. So
they charge more. Yeah, exactly.
yeah. But
It's-
also, when you're dealing with raw food and things like that, you have to marinate that stuff. And whatever you don't sell, it's not good for long.
It doesn't keep very long.
So
I was gonna,
they're not freezing it or anything.
yeah, I was gonna bring it home what was left over, and they're like, take your chances, you know.
Yeah. Like, oh,
Yeah,
I got that leftover gas station sushi in the fridge. So.
Yeah. Crab guys.
Whoa, I like that font.
I love that. Before he left for Chicago, Castro made that. You know, it's like, it's awesome. Yes, I had a crabgasm. It's true, but you said it'd been a while since I'd done any food on the show, so you know, it's like, hey, you know, we'll try some other stuff. You know, it's like we'll do that. But see, Joey has to be in the store now in the mornings because he's opening for lunch. So
yeah, and today's actually a holiday, so I'll probably get pretty slammed.
I went out earlier, and the streets are dead. But I did get woke up at 4:00 this morning. Two guys having a fight outside my window, and they're just screaming. You know, I live in like a concrete canyon, so it's echoing all over. And they're screaming at the top of their lungs and like throwing things at each other, apparently. And it's like, because on a 3-day weekend, Koreans like to get plastered. You know, they do. We saw some staggerers on the way home last night.
There are a lot of people out. Probably that's why the streets are dead, is everyone's sleeping it off, and then afternoon it'll be pretty booming again. A lot of people leave the city too when there's a 3-day weekend, so the traffic was pretty bad for people that were coming in and out.
But Joey, you know our neighborhood is like seriously party town though too.
Well, that's because you're there, Tom.
Yeah, I'm. You know, it's like little Las Vegas over here. You know. So William was saying when you brought us home the other night. Oh, listen, this is really cool. I got to show you, Bill. Before we get to the artwork,
I see artwork on your drawing table.
William from the base brought me an actual piece of the barbed wire from the 38th parallel. This is this is an actual piece of barbed wire from the DMZ.
I don't think they're gonna let you take that out of the country.
Well, I don't know if they are or not. I mean, the point is that we took it out of the DMZ, but William, a friend of ours who is stationed there, brought this as a gift for me, you know, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty damn cool, right? So I was very, very tickled by that. And then his friend Sean made this relief of Iron Man. Handmade this. Check this out. Is that really cool?
It's in 3D.
Yeah. So I was really impressed. So I got a couple of gifts last night. It was pretty neat, man. So anyway, so last night was our theme was food because Joey had I think a really decent idea to actually use our art to put on his menus and stuff like that. So the reason I didn't send the art, other than the one that I did, is so Joey could give us a little presentation.
Yeah, I want to see that Galactus.
Got it here.
The Galactus came out incredible, man.
So the idea I had was to use the art on the menu, and then I can also use the menu to promote, you know, bringing more people to Drink and Draw.
And
right
Bill,
now,
no, I just wanted to say before we start, these are available if somebody wants to buy them now, because it's for charity, right? So anytime anybody watching the show wants to buy one of these, you know, they can contact Joey.
Yeah, they could just email me and I could pass it along to you guys. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's some gems. So so we got so I'm gonna we'll put these on some of these on our menu, and then we'll use the menu to also promote bringing people to Drink and Draw. Right now the attendance is a little lower, but it's really the new semester at school is starting next week, so I think that once people are back at school in the university nearby,
we had some out of towners last night, so people actually came a long way just to come to Drink and Draw. It was really nice.
Yeah, well, I've been telling people about it. So here's our first sketch.
It's Condiment Man.
Yes.
The Condiment King. So saying I could put it near my my ketchup and fry sauce.
There's actually a condiment man, right? That he's actual character, right?
Yeah. Created by Bruce Timm, I guess. But
yeah.
And he shoots condiments at people and gives them.
First time heard of it, Bill. I know. Look at Bill's face. Yeah, I know.
Then we've got Deadpool picking out on shakes.
Ay. All the flavors.
So we've got another shake.
Yeah.
But we've got Harley Quinn with pudding. We got this. I think he
I said
did pretty well.
Yeah. Burger and a Coke. Tony having a burger and a Coke.
Yeah.
Even got a chance to color it.
Hamburger Hulk. So
I'm still jealous of Hamburger Hulk. You know that, right? Joey didn't know about the Hulk eating beans. I had to tell him the whole thing about.
I had no idea about the bean thing. But then we had made my chili dog into a thing, and he learned about rubber cement, and then went wild with it.
Yes, he was huffing during a drink and draw. Yeah, it was a.
Well, he would ask me if I had glue, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know if I have like a glue stick. But I got rubber cement, and he'd never seen it before." Yeah. So go ask Bob how to use it.
Oh yeah, I went to open it, and the girl next to me, she backed away like it was like nitroglycerin or something. You know, where's Galactus?
This one?
Oh yeah, that's what.
That's the last one. So
that is awesome, huh?
Galactus, devourer of cheeseburgers.
That's pretty good.
Planet of fries.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, we had a small crowd, but they were very enthusiastic, and it was fun.
You can use those in your like you said, your next menu.
Yes, and as Joey said, when the next semester starts, we'll get an influx of a whole bunch of new people.
We can do another one later with cocktails, and then I can spruce up the cocktail menu.
Exactly.
At the CEO party at OAX, we had hero-themed cocktails. I don't think you were invited. I don't know. You didn't get there, I don't think. I didn't see you there. Or were you there?
No, I didn't go to. I don't go to cocktail parties. I went out to dinner. You know, it's like I went out to dinner with
you. Had a good time.
Skipping my lawyer. It's like I don't drink. You know that. You know, I've been 36 years. It's like being around people who are drinking is not one of my fun pursuits. You know, so
I understand.
That's why I avoid holidays, drinking holidays like 4th of July and New Year's and stuff like that. Although we had a nice New Year's here, I got to say,
the New Year's party at the shop is pretty good. I've had everyone hangs out and plays board games and chats and stay up till midnight, and I've had people bring friends that weren't board gamers to the thing, and they complained that it was such a boring New Year's Eve party. All the people that were there playing are kind of offended. No, I really like this. Just
So today
Twilight Imperium until 2 in the morning.
So what holiday is it, Joey? I forget. It's like Independence Day, sort of.
I think it's there's a bunch of different types of Independence Day type holidays, and I think this is like it's like a declaration of Independence Day kind of thing, where. Because there's like different ones for when they made a constitution, when they declared independence, and then when they got independence and things like that. I don't know the ins and outs of all of them. I just know that, back when I had a real job, that I didn't have to work on those days.
The Koreans have a lot of holidays. Hey, listen, Bill, by the way, Castro's kept me really busy this week contacting my old friends trying to get them to come to OAX.
I heard about that. You've been striking out, though, I heard.
One home run, 2 strikeouts. All right?
All right.
But again, I don't know when it got to be my job to be the talent coordinator for the show.
You were telling us how many people you knew, and so we just said, and
it's true.
Let's let Bob terms like some of his old working buddies.
I can't guarantee that they're going to come. But listen, we got at least got one home run out of it, right?
It sounds that way.
Home run. So hey, you know, there you go. I earned whatever money I don't get. I know you got a busy show. Tell me what's happening today.
Oh, just a lot of. I mean, looking at my list, I have. I got a weekly flips, and we're looking at somebody's portfolio. We've got dramatic reading. Believe it or not, we've got an editor talking about some artwork that they love, and I've got a preview of some art sales I've got coming up. I have art from 4 different artists tonight in my office.
Do you have my commissions for this week?
I do not. Oh, I do have them. Yes, I do. Wait a minute. Let's show them off. What's that? What are you drawing? What's the Avengers thing on your drawing table?
I'm doing Spencer's asked me to do Avengers number 75. So I'm working on that now. I just finished the black and white. I'm gonna start coloring it, you know. So again, like I said, that's why I need the printer so I can print all the trade dress in color. So it goes all so there's no paste ups or anything like that. So yeah, this week's stuff. This was for a guy in Toronto. He saw the Soul Tower thing I did for the Korean Herald, and so he said, "Well, I want one for the tower in Toronto." So I did the black and white for him. That's what that is. Even though you can't see the tower now. There you go.
There you go. That looks great.
Thanks. You know, this was another one of Spencer's things. I thought it would be really fun to actually paint the Hulk on there. So, you know, instead of doing line value, I actually painted it onto the board itself. I always love that cover, you know. It's one of my particular favorites. So, there you go.
And what do we got here?
Yeah, and I think I showed you this briefly last week, but this is the actual finished version of Invaders. I think that's for Nikki, actually. He's a big Invaders fan, I guess. So, yeah. So, No, that was from last week's Drink and Draw. I forgot to send it to you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Zombie. We did Scary Week, and I forgot to send it last week. That's a Zombie Captain America.
Yeah, we had the people from the Dark Side of Soul tour here.
Yeah, that was last week's thing, but I forgot to send it along last week when we were doing the show, so I just threw it in with Casper there.
Hey, Antoine wants to know what printer and paper are you using? When
I'm using. I used to use an Epson. I bought one from Germany when I first got here. It would not work, and I could not get ink refills. Or as we found out, this is my 4th printer, but I'm using an HP 7740. It's twitchy as hell. The software is twitchy as hell. HP sucks. Don't buy them. But you know, the nice thing about the HPs here in Korea is they're practically disposable. They're so cheap. So as I said, I'm on my 4th printer in 5 months. All right. The last one got ink into the actual mechanisms, and it's sitting out in my hallway. We still have to throw it away. So yeah, I didn't want to invest a huge amount of money into a printer, but the Epson is a better one, definitely. Cap That's great, man.
Or what Cap would really look like after being thawed out.
That's pretty much right. He's got serious freezer burn. She would have it today. He was outside. No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So anyway, there you go. That's this week's offering or whatever. And like I said, I did my best to try to bring some more people to OX, and I will continue to do so, Bill.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the show was a tremendous success, and Joy and I are working. We have a meeting. We're working on the Seoul Comics Week for Korea this year. Got some big plans for that too. So,
awesome.
Fingers crossed. You know, for that we are meeting in about 10 days. With with Coca.
It'll be a week from Sunday.
Hey, what happened to my buddy from the Philippines? He was going to write me about me coming to the Philippines last week, you know?
Oh, Jiggy.
Oh, really?
Jiggy.
Yeah, dude, what happened to Jiggy? He was going to write me, and he didn't.
Jiggy was in the chat earlier. Jiggy, well, shoot me an email. I'll make a note. I will email Jiggy and
Well,
get him.
I gave him my email right on.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll kick Jiggy in the pants then and tell him to get that email.
Yeah,
over.
I mean, I'd like to see the Philippines while I'm living here. You know, I got to leave every 90 days anyway.
Right. Gotta get your visa renewed. So no, we'll. I'll make sure he reaches out. I'm making a note to Bob.
Okay. Well, anyway, Joey, I guess I'll see you after the holiday.
I'll get it to you,
Probably.
Jiggy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, like I said, and Bill, we'll see you next week.
You got it. I'll be here, and if when you need some PR done for the Soul Show, let me know. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's gonna be if we get the funding. It's gonna be fun either way. But if we if the meeting goes well with the sponsor and stuff, they sound really eager. There's a new head to this government agency, and she wants to do something big. So.
And they have really nice deep pockets. So, Joey should be able to put together a really good program.
Perfect.
So, yeah, fingers crossed.
I'll cross mine. So, Joey, good to see you again. Glad.
Nice seeing you.
Like, it was proof of life to see that Joey's still around. We were just worried about you.
Well, everybody kept saying, "Where's Joey? Where's?" I said, "Man, you got it tomorrow when you get in. You gotta get on. You know."
Mm-hmm.
So there he is. There's my buddy.
And I can get on some more from
Joey. Stay warm. Bill, have a great show. Okay, we'll see you next week. Okay.
You got it. I'll be here. See you guys.
Bye, guys.
All right. No, it's good to see Joey again. He's been AWOL for since the first of the year practically. I think we haven't seen him, so it's good to have him back. Jiggy, you just laugh how easy Bob's email is. It's literally bob@boblayton.com. So shoot him an email, and it's public knowledge. It's up on his website, so easy to reach out to the man. But let's see. I do have a ton of stuff, but I'm gonna throw this one thing out here because I know it's gonna excite everybody. Because when Maureen told me that she could do this one thing programmatically, I was on cloud nine. It was like it turned a mediocre day into a day with a reason for celebration, because we were working on some stuff for the app, and we were talking about working on the front end of the site, and we were talking about the first thing we're going to tackle there was the new art page, because the new art page is the #1 page viewed on CAF. Every day, every month, it doesn't matter. New art is the page people spend their most time on. So new art was a good place for us to start the front end. And I had told Maureen that it would be really cool. And I think I tell her this like once every year, and then we realize we can't do it, was that I'm like, what? I want to be able to pick and choose things a little bit better. Like I want to be able to pick like all the paint categories, right? Say it's acrylics, oils, and watercolor, right? And set it to cover. Or maybe even add cover and title page and splash page, right? So I can have all these multiple options, because right now you can only pick one thing at a time. And she came back the next day and she's like, we do this every year. I can't do it. So I remembered, we can't do it. So I go back to just scaling back our thoughts on that page. And she comes to me the next day. She's like, I just read something on Microsoft. We can do it. I've done it. I've actually tried it out and it works great. So now we're going to be able to have like multi-selects for the site as well, which we haven't rolled out yet. But the thing is that it will correct something that many people have desired for years and years and years, probably since the beginning of CAF, while working with dealers and whatnot. It will allow us on the dealer search page to pick which dealers you want to have results from, or the ones that you don't want to have results from. And you know what I'm talking about, some of you guys in the chat. So that's like the #1 request, I think, that's always been out there, is being able to filter easier instead of picking one at a time. Like if there's one dealer you didn't want to search on, but you would search on all 35 other ones by using the drop-down select. Well, now you can basically just uncheck one and it will only bring back the results of all the other ones. So woohoo, awesome. See, I knew this has been a feature everybody's been wanting, and it's apparently it's something that's always been out there, but for some reason Maureen didn't know. I never run into it, and it wasn't easy to find in any of the Microsoft Tech articles and all that stuff. But we already have it up and running for the app, as our demo, where we were basically picking multi-selects on stuff, and it's incredible. Like, I had her pick, just like I said, I want to see all the covers that are painted from these three mediums, and it just came back like lightning. It's fast, and it's everything everything everybody has always been demanding. Marcus, no business names will be changed, but at any rate, it was pretty cool. I know everybody. I was thrilled. When is the app coming? Q2, Alberto. The app will be available in Q2. I mean, you're ready to beta test. Of course, we're going to need beta testers. That's for sure. And just remember that the app version 1 is just focused on CAF gallery stuff primarily. It'll have the admin built into it, so you'll be able to manage your CAF gallery. It has it already has the ability, like, you can either take a photo with your camera or take something off the camera, but you can basically crop and color correct all that kind of stuff before you upload it. So that's all built into it. CAF mail will be a part of the admin as well. And then the front end, though, will be focused mostly on galleries. So it'll be new art, site search, browse galleries, that sort of thing. We'll be avoiding things like anything art for sale related, but we want to get a few push notifications built into it as well. So Q2, sometime most likely, well, I don't want to even say, but May more than likely is what I would think. So yeah, so it's good. But the good thing is we're trying to think about it out of the box, in a more modern sense, like we should. And so it's been good to look at things in a new way, because it's going to give us fresh ways to basically go back and tackle some things on CAF too. So Alberto says he can't wait to post his AI generated art. No. We don't like AI generated art on the site. So, all right, I'm glad I was going to save that for later, but I knew that would cheer up some people in the chat. So I'm going to show a weekly flip. I've got 2 videos today from Adam Law, and he sent me a weekly flip and a dramatic reading. So we'll get started with the weekly flip, because we don't get enough of those anymore. And I did make a call for that a week or 2 ago, and I still would encourage everybody to, who likes to talk about their art, to do a weekly flip, because they are a lot of fun. And this is a good one with Adam. It's his second one, and we get a small tour of his house while he's getting set up and ready for this. So yeah, let's take a look at this video, and then I'll be back with some more stuff after it's all done.
Tales from the flip. First up, we got a page from Books of Doom #1, page 2 by Pablo Raimondi. Another page from Books of Doom. It's a double page spread from issue 3, pages 2 and 3. This is all about Dr. Doom losing his mother to a demon. Next one is issue 4, page 18. Next is King, volume 2, page 56 by Ho-Che Anderson, and the cover of The Power of the Dark Crystal, number 10 by Mark Buckingham. 2 pages from Thanos Rising, issue 3, page 8, and issue 2, page 18 by Simone Bianchi. 2 pencils-only pages from Spider-Man: The Lost Hunt by Eder Messias. A blank page and a page from Storming Paradise by Butch Geiss. A Tales from the Dark Multiverse, Crisis on Infinite Earth, page 47 by Mike Perkins. And 2 pages from An Amazing Spider-Man: The Grim Hunt Backstory by Max Fiumara. Next is Earth X, issue 0, page 16 by John Paul Leon and Bill Reinhold. Page from The Whistling Skull by Tony Daniels, and Lobo Unbound Issue 3, page 22 by Alex Horley. 2 pages from a horror comic called Hairball, issue number 1 by Tyler Jenkins. Day Brothers Presents number 2 by Dan Day, and the Boneyard Press logo original art by Hart Fisher. The Immortal Hulk number 39, page 6, depicts the One Below All with just Bellardino Bravo inks, and Murder number 1 by Dan Day. Night Force number 2, page 25, Gene Colan and Bob Smith, and The Kingdom number 1, page 12 by Ariel Olivetti. An OAX print I got of Wonder Woman from James Siegel, and a page from Shadows from the Grave by Dan Day. Marvel Comics Presents number 22, title page by Ron Lim and Jeff Albrecht. Paradise X Devils, page 19 by Steven Sadowski, inked by Andrew Papoy. Captain America The Chosen number 5, page 2 by Mitch Brettweiser, and an illustration from Bram Stoker Dracula by Jay Lee. Life and Death of Toya Harada number 1, page 4 by Miko Swayan, and Harbinger number 0, page 6, also by Miko. Earth X number 2, page 12, The Death of Johnny Storm by John Paul Leon and Bill Reinhold, and a Carol Day strip number 2701 from 1965 by David Wright. Another Bram Stoker's illustrated version by Jay Lee, and Straight Toasters number 4, page 33 by Bill Sinkowitz. Heavy Metal number 302, page 11 by Butch Geiss. Road to Perdition, page 140 by Richard Piers Rayner. Page from Paradise X Ragnarok by Thomas Yates, and the cover for Life and Death of Toyo Harada number 6 by Miko Swayan. 2 pages also by Miko Swayan, Life and Death of Toyo Harada number 1, page 30, and my favorite, Harbinger Bleeding Monk number 0, page 24, end page, also by Miko. Betty Page, Queen of the Nile number 2, page 18, splash by Jim Silky. Silver Star number 5, page 5, drawn by Jack Kirby and inked by Mike Royer. Wolverine Netsuke number 3, 2 panels, both by George Pratt. And my OAX sketch card of Mark Twain, also by George Pratt. And I end it with a last Comic Art Live purchase of Barbarella, a painting by Mike Vosberg, and my dog.
That was awesome. Thank you, Adam. We really appreciate that. That's like our, I forget what the number is. I think we're in the high 30s so far on weekly flip. So it's not quite a weekly flip anymore, but we're going to keep calling it that anyway. But very nice piece of art in there. The dog wins, says Jeff Wedding. Very entertaining, says Dino. Of course, absolutely. And I saw some people talking in the chat about the meetup that's happening tomorrow in Chicago. So I guess it looks like Adam's going. I don't know if Kelly Goon was going. I saw at least Kelly asked about that. But for those of you that didn't know there was a meetup going on in Chicago tomorrow, I guess I can highlight that for you. I think Kazar probably has more than enough people going already, but they could probably squeeze a few more people in Club Lago if you're so inclined to go. I think last I heard there was 24 collectors that are going to be at Club Lago tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Chicago time. So please, if you're in the area and you're interested in going, shoot Kazra an email, Kazra@oa-expo.com, and he can give you the details. If they could squeeze a few more portfolios in the restaurant or not, imagine they probably can. But if I were in the area, I would certainly be going myself. But I think that's going to be the first of several, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that Kazra is going to be going out to the West Coast later this month and probably arranging a few, at least, well, maybe not a few, but at least one meetup while he's there. I'm not sure where he's going, LA, San Diego, somewhere around in there. But yeah, so anyways, lots of good stuff going on. And I'm sure I even saw an email that went out today. I didn't think to ask if I could talk about it. Probably can't, but I can tell you that, another collector who's hosted a few meetups is having another meetup. This one on the East Coast, and that one's coming up, I think, later in March as well. So plenty of meetups happening, which is awesome. So yeah. So I teased, or I didn't tease. I mentioned that I'd gotten a bunch of photos from Ron Shepard last week during the broadcast, and I just wasn't able to transfer them from one computer to the other. So these were just some pics from his OAX experience, and I actually made it into one of them. So did Scott Eder. And I sent that picture to Scott as well. But yeah, I think you'll enjoy this. These are just some photos that mostly of Ron with some of his art pickups, and you can tell he had a very good time. And let me show it off. Look at that. Everybody's having a good time. So, yes. Yeah. Alberto was in one of those photos. I was in a photo. Scott Eder. There was plenty of people in those. A lot of artists. Tony Moy, Daniel Govar, and I forget who else was in there, but plenty of them. So thank you for sharing those, Ron. It was definitely a good time. Great photos. George Hodge wishes he was there, but George was off jet setting that weekend. But I'm sure he'll try to figure out how he can make it to OAX 2025 next year. Yeah, no, I get it. Sorry, looking at the chat. 29 likes and with 75 watching. How is that even possible, Goo? I don't understand that. But let's see, where can we go from there? For sure, you better be, George. We have. Gosh, I'm looking at my schedule here. I really just want to keep rolling through my videos because I've got a lot. Adam Law, like I mentioned, did a dramatic reading as well, and it's kind of related to OAX. I think that Kazra challenged him and said, I'd like to see you do a dramatic reading on his comic, on his Monocyte comic, which probably many people have not heard of. It was published by IDW. I'm not even sure when. Probably like 12 years ago. Around that time period. 2012, 2013, I think. And Adam, the creative genius that he is, was up to the task, and so he set out to do this. So if you're not familiar with Monocyte, you still won't know much about it after you get this dramatic reading bit from Adam. But it just shows you how far out there it was. I think at the time, Kazra was working at 44 Flood, a business he co-owned with Menton 3, and he also had George Pratt do some artwork for this book as well. So yeah, let's see. As Adam just said, he promised him he would try, and you did on something I would have never thought we'd get a dramatic reading from. But let's take a look at this.
How can such a thing as light even be, when it is provable that you are nothing more than a vapor, wavelengths of energy? For do you not think, and in thinking do you not think of places? These places of which you think, are they a thought in your head, or are they in your head, or are they somewhere else? In thinking of them, do you not see them? In the seeing of them, are they not real? And if they are not real, will you then say that what you see before you now is more or less than they, for you only know it by the seeing? If death is what he seeks, then life is what he fears. Where do you go when you dream? Light. In thinking of them, do you not see them? And in the seeing of them, are they not real?
Yeah, that man is the CEO of Comic Card Fans. So yes, very, very, very deep stuff. I actually never got to read Monocyte, but I did pick up Tome, which was a big art book that Kazra helped pull together back in the day, and it was pretty cool. An early, incredibly successful Kickstarter for those of you that were paying attention 10 or 11 years ago. So yes, Goose's top-notch production value, The Gauntlet, has been dropped. And yeah, isn't that the truth? Antoine remembers Tome. It was huge. It was a tome. I had to think twice about moving it from Ohio to Florida when when we made the move down here, because I kept going back to that book and like, where am I going to put it? But it is back there. So let's see. Adam says that face I was told was a prop from the movie Ghost when I bought it at a flea market in San Francisco. Priceless. Yeah, that is so true. I mean, I can't see it not being a prop from the movie Ghost. But yes, well done, Adam. We appreciate it. I think I think that was like the 10th dramatic reading that we've had, and you've done I think 6 of them, maybe even 7 of them, because we had Dino do one, and I remember Anthony and Sharon did a dramatic reading. I think we had another one. But dramatic readings are fun. We get to watch Nick do a dramatic reading typically every Friday afternoon or evening when he's doing a show. He likes to get into it when he's showing off some of his artwork that he has for sale. Yes, we are all happy that you gave that a shot. But so let's see. I mean, I think I should just keep playing the videos. I mean, I'm looking at these stacks of art, but I want to have Mikhail on camera with me when I'm going through some of the artwork. So I think I'll save the artwork for a little bit later. So what I can do is I can just swing right into the page I love that Kevin Sharp delivered this week. So Kevin still got like 4 or 5 in the queue, and he was telling me I should start doing them every other week. I really feel like we could probably do them every week, but it's really dependent on Kevin's schedule. He might know that he's not going to be doing a bunch in the next few weeks, but the one that he did today was with editor Will Dennis, and it's funny. It's towards the end, but Kevin puts the question to him about the best X-Men artist, and I think I know Marcus will enjoy his his commentary, but yeah, it doesn't settle the argument. It probably doesn't, but it definitely leans in my direction on philosophically on one artist in particular, I think. So let's just dive into it, and we'll hear what Will Dennis has to say, which artwork he picked.
Hey, it's Kevin Sharp. Today my guest is longtime comics editor Will Dennis, who's currently a founding editor at the new label Distillery. Will, welcome to Comic Art Live. And I think you've chosen a page that a lot of people are going to nod their heads in agreement with. Tell us what you brought to talk about today.
Oh, well, thanks for having me on. Yeah, my pick was the final page of X-Men 132, which came out in 1980. It's like the page of the Hellfire Club sequence when Wolverine comes out of the sewer and is like ready to do his Wolverine thing.
And so this is prime time. John Byrne, Terry Austin, Chris Claremont. Where would you have
Hmm.
been in your fandom, in your readership when this issue came out? Would you have seen this new on the stands, or is this a back issue?
No, this is totally new on the stands. I remember exactly where I was, like where I bought it. Like I can close my eyes and picture the place. I grew up in a college town, and there was an area of town they called College Town, and it had a couple of kind of newsstand, and one of them was called Student Agencies. It was sort of part like laundromat, part pinball arcade, part, magazines, cigarettes, whatever, anything a student in 1980 would need, kind of, And they used to they had two spinner racks of comics, and this was definitely on there. I mean, we were lucky. We had a comic book store I grew up in Ithaca, New York, and we had a comic book store there. But I think if it was open in 1980, it was like just open.
So when we're thinking of the Claremont Byrne run and all of the amazing moments in that, how did you choose this particular page from this particular issue?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much going on if you look at the page. I mean, not just storytelling wise, and but it's also like the nostalgia factor, like where I was at that point in my life kind of factor, which, made me think of it. I mean, because there's definitely books even that I would say I was bigger fans of. Like I was a huge fan of Conan, John Buscema's Conan. Like, I mean, I think he's one of the greatest like draftsmen ever in comics and just amazing. But this was a book that like, so, I'm like 12-ish, 13-ish probably, And so, I mean, the first panel's got Jean Grey and I mean, we didn't know what like BDSM was then, but she's essentially in this sort of Black Queen sort of, thing. So you've got from a human standpoint, you've got those early kind of like, whoa, what is happening here kind of feelings, which up till then, I don't know that I necessarily had, which then you've got this incredible middle tier that's just like storytelling 101 essentially, in terms of the progression of the hand coming out of the water, the sewer. And it's somewhat, he doesn't do exactly like what Joe Kubert does a lot, where Joe would draw one panel, like a location and then slice it up into slices, like, I mean, where like the background here shifts slightly. So it's not just like one long shot of the sewer tunnel, but it's close, and it's just like so cinematic in terms of, I mean, particularly for a Claremont book, I mean, they're four silent panels essentially, which is, a little, those are few and far between in a Claremont book, Yeah, it's just so cinematic, right? And then you got the final shot of him coming out of the water, and it's like, because it's easy to think about it, but it's like this predates like, the Schwarzenegger Rambo kind of 80s hero shot. Every movie's got him strapping on all the gear and he's like ready to kick ass kind of thing. So I just remember having this like visceral reaction to this last page, and you got a page turn because you would have had before it like the letters column and all the Stan soapbox and all that kind of stuff. So it's just like, so in that, in terms of sticking the landing, it's like you can't stick the landing any better than that, But then, and this is kind of funny, but it's like, and I thought about it as I was reading up to this, was like, as a kid, I didn't realize that Wolverine's mutant power was the healing factor, right? Like we all thought it was the claws, right? And like oh, he's like a half animal, whatever. But so this was in the previous sequence is like when they drop him through, they make them like super dense and they drop them through the building, and there's a great like side view of the building as he like goes through every floor, kind of thing. But then you see him on this last page and he's ready to rock, and you're just kind of like, oh wait, duh, like that's the power, right? Like, I don't remember at the time thinking that, but I can definitely say now, realizing that like I didn't fully understand what it was, And then beyond that, it's like Wolverine at that point, he was just a cool part of the team, right? Like, I mean, they did the fastball special. He was kind of the badass, but there was all these other characters. It was a team book. Even that last that stinger for the next issue of Wolverine alone, Nuff said, for me, this is like the launching point when Wolverine is like oh, he's the star. Like, and from here on out, like then he really starts. I mean, he basically like owned the '80s in terms of like comic book fandom. It's funny to think now back in historically, and obviously I know from working on comics now for 25 years, it's like you can't plan those moments really. You can't plan the impact you're going to have, and if you try to, I think you're just full of it, in terms of you can't really pick the hits even, it's just sort of like you're doing your best stuff and you just hope for the best after that. But like, yeah, I mean, even in hindsight, looking at it, you're like, oh, right. Like this is the moment. Like if Wolverine were an actor in real life, this is the moment when he goes to his agent and says, I want $50 million for the next movie or I'm not in it, because I'm the show. Being a professional in comics and working with so many amazing, talented people, and just you get to a certain point, and even you mentioned distillery at the top. It's like part of that is like you just get all these professional people together and let them kind of do what they do, and that's always been sort of my philosophy of doing work. And I feel like this is that kind of moment, right? Like they've been doing this now for what 20 issues or more, maybe 20, together as a team. Like, I don't know, maybe they didn't talk to each other. Maybe they hated each other. I have no idea what was going on behind the scenes, but like, this is just like a bunch of professionals, like at the top of their game, like on this page for me.
Final question, because we're on Comic Art Live, and this has been an ongoing debate. Where would you rank Byrne Austin in terms of all-time X-Men art?
Oh, all-time X-Men? I mean, they're number one for me, like without, no one else is close, but some of that is just your own fandom, obviously, and like where they were at a certain point. I mean, there's amazing artists, obviously. I mean, it's hard to say Kirby, but I don't even, the Kirby X-Men stuff, like, I feel like he was doing that like on the weekends, you know what I mean? Like compared to the other stuff, I mean, it's good, but it's sort of like, all right, sure, I'll get you these pages by Monday, don't worry about it, Stan. Like, this is far and away, like for me, this will always be number one.
For the viewers, Distillery will have two titles out when you're listening to this, which are Somna and Gone. So check those out at your LCS or wherever you get your comics. And Will, thank you again for joining us on Comic Art Live.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks. This was fantastic. Appreciate it.
So see, I told you Kirby was mailing those things in. That was not, that wasn't the his best work, and everybody knows it too. That's why those. You can still the early X-Men pages are still affordable. They're far less than a Byrne X-Men page. I mean, I think Albert just sold one for $20,000 from like issue 12. Kirby pencils, Roth inks, or something like that. So yeah, there you go. Byrne. Although I did say Cockrum was up there for me, but I did see a question I wanted to answer. Corey Russ said, "Do I have any OAX stickers left?" And yes, I actually do have some OAX stickers left, Corey. So if you want, shoot me an email and we'll figure out how to get some to you. I actually have a lot. When we bought them, I think I bought like 1,000. So I have plenty of OAX stickers to go around if you're in need. So we're going to switch and bring in Mikhail to the show now because we have some art to look at and other things to talk about. So welcome back, Mikhail.
Now it's my turn, suckers.
That's right. What did you eat for lunch today?
I had ramen.
Yeah, ramen.
But it was like a pre-made home kit, and it wasn't very good.
All right. My daughters make great ramen here, so we usually have something good when they're cooking. But yeah. Well, what did I have for lunch? I had a ham sandwich today. So in case anybody else was wondering.
Where did lunch talk come from?
I don't know. Well, it's Bob. It's Bob and him trying on different foods and him trying to keep us entertained by the more odd foods he can eat, during the week and get filmed. But yeah, it is what it is. But so we have plenty of stuff. You're like coming in, sitting in for Chris because Chris had to be away. So that I appreciate you coming in for that. But I have a lot of art to look at and stuff. And I thought it'd be fun to get to talk to you while I'm doing it, while we're looking at
Sounds
stuff.
like fun.
Yeah. So I've got because I have a show this weekend with Brent Peoples, and I've kind of. What do we got here? I didn't really look through everything he had sent me, but he's got some published pages. Let's see. I know he had some Ghostwriter stuff in here. What did he have? There was some weird Doctor Strange stuff. Here, you know what? Here, why don't I make my camera a little bigger, and then it'll be easier to see what showing up. There we go. So some Doctor Strange, but I think that's a Ghost Rider page. Yeah, it is Ghost Rider, but it's got Doctor Strange all over it. And what was that? It was like a splash page or something. A half splash. I'm sorry. Look at that. Berkey might try to
That's
say
nice.
that 60% splash, but yeah, it's a very nice page. Ghost Rider. What is it from issue 19? And then I know he did a bunch of what is it? He did a lot of like just specialty drawings. He even did a couple sketch covers. I know some people like those. So yeah, nice Spider-Man sketch cover there. I think Mike would say ooh la la or something, I guess. But so we got plenty of that this Saturday, and then after I have Brent on, I think the next show I should actually be looking at my calendar to make sure I actually have the schedule right. Let's see. After Brent, I have John McCrae, and I got the package of art from John McCrae the other day, and it's got a lot of cool stuff in it.
Is he going to be joining from England?
Yes. Yeah, that'll be a lot. That is going to be at 2:00 on the 9th. So, but yeah, lots of good stuff in here. The thing is, I've got to ask him about what's published and what isn't, because he's got a lot of different stuff. Like he's got this Rogue Trooper piece that says it's for a print. It looks like it has Dread in the back, but I've got to get some clarity on it because he didn't give me an art list with it. Let's see. I always forget the name of this character. Everybody will tell me what it is when they see it. But that looks like it's probably more or less just a kind of commission style piece. But with John, he has a lot of the pieces actually come with like his pencil prelims too. So you get both pieces when you pick up stuff by him. He's got a Vampirella cover here. He's got I thought this was really nice too. Look at this, a Daredevil pin up for fun. So
he's so versatile. There's so many different looks that he achieves.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree. And he really, you can tell when he really enjoys what he's a piece, because the Daredevil one I can tell he put a lot of time in. And then this thing is it says it's a Constantine Deadman page. So I'm not familiar with what the title is, but it's a coffee house named Massive Grounds. So you got that, and then he's got let's go through. Let's see. Something. It says Carnage What If, so I don't know if that means it's from a What If title that had Carnage in it or not. But I'm gonna have to do my research before I show any of this stuff. And we do have some Hitman. Let's see. I'll skip ahead to that because I only read a little bit of Hitman, so these pages don't mean a lot to me until I'll go back and figure out what it was from. So some kind of a splash page from issue 59, some weird looking creature on it. And his ink is very shiny. And then another Hitman page from issue 13. So
that's going to be a fun show. It's going to be fun to hear him talking about these different pieces.
Exactly. He's somebody I've never met before. So, I always get intimidated when I end up meeting, somebody that whose work I've always admired and I have no background on. So it'll be interesting. And so he did this as just a commission piece for the show. And then he's got a bunch of demon pages. What else he got in here? Oh, he actually has some pages from The Boys that are pretty cool. This is from issue 33. So some stuff that clearly I don't think anybody's seen in a while. And a few other pieces from The Boys as well. Nothing too gory or anything. And he's got a Judge Dredd page from something called Shooter's Night. And let's see, some more of those Carnage What If pages. I'm going to have to figure out what the heck those things are from. The art's really nice. So like this is another one from the Carnage What If. So very, very nice. But yeah, I'm looking forward to hanging out with him. It should be fun. Oh, there's like a weird splash from Demon. It's like kind of a crazy looking Jonah Hex kind of guy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And that horse is great too.
Exactly. So yeah, and dated on, like stamped on the back of these is 93. So some stuff, some old stuff too. So, you know, has anybody ever seen John McRae at a show recently? I mean, I don't recall him getting out too often, but yeah. So I got that, and then I've got another show coming up with Dexter Vines. The weekend after that, I've got some Spider-Verse team up piece, and I've actually not looked at this stuff at all. I literally opened the package while the last video was playing. So some kind of JLA splash here. So I'm not even familiar with, it doesn't have listed on here who the penciler is on this stuff. So I'm going to have a bit of research to do on these before we, before I can do these shows. We got a Nova page, splashy Green Lantern. Nick always likes Green Lantern. So we got something there.
All the lanterns.
Yes, indeed. And then what do we got? We got some Deadpool, some Jason Pearson Deadpool. I think those all sold the last time. Let's see.
That will be popular.
Yep. I think I actually I picked some Jason Pearson art to feature tonight. Then a Power Girl Tangent pinup or something. That was that weird version of Power Girl that I know you had a page of once before. So that one's out there. We got some Weapon X, Ultimate Thor, Mandalorian. That should make some Star Wars fans happy, right? Let's see.
Oh, nice. That's Slave 1.
Yeah, let's see what's issue 7, George Genty. And something, The Ride with Leonardi pencils. That's cool. And what else we got? Something from Buffy season 9. I guess it is a cover. George Genty again. And then something I'm not familiar with called The Heretic. So to end it. I think Dexter has a lot of art. That's what I'm thinking.
There's something for everyone.
Exactly. A little bit of all the publishers. And then let's see what else I got. So then I have actually I have a lot of Brian Hitch stuff. We're going to be doing a couple sales shows with him. He's going to be participating in Comic Art Live, and as everybody knows, Brian hasn't had the best history of being able to ship on time in a timely fashion. So he was like, when he came out to MegaCon, he gave me some stuff, and then I actually had a box of art shipped to me by someone who used to rep him. So the box of art has stuff that's all 12 years and it's 12 years and older. So there's X Factor stuff in there, some Ultimate stuff, kind of crazy mixed bag of stuff. A lot of stuff with Paul Neary Inks, of course, because that's when he worked a lot with Paul. So like here's a page from X Factor 118. And we don't really have any. I haven't talked with him about like the schedule or not, but we're doing a show with him, I think, on the 23rd. So this is from X Factor 118. Looks like it's got Havoc on it, Beast.
Damn, that's a fun page.
Yeah, and there's got to be at least 20 pages from X Factor, X-Men versus Brood. This is something called X Patrol. I'm not familiar with, but it's got the thing in it too. So I think there were like 6 or 7 pages from this. There were pages from that Colossus miniseries that he did. This is really nice.
Did he do any interior art for Ultimates?
Yes. Yeah, I've got I was just going to show you a cover from Ultimates. Ultimates 2, issue 2, Hitch and Neary.
I see why you were putting that off to the side.
I'd taken it out to take a look at it, but he actually, what's even better? There's the style guide that he did for Thor for Ultimates is in the stack, and it's
that'll be fun. And you just got a Thor commission, right?
I did. I know. Exactly. And again, I only just pulled out some random stuff. This was a Hitch Neary Conan piece. I have no idea if it was published or not, but I thought it was pretty darn nice. Yeah. I don't know if it's dated or not. No, not dated at all, but signed by them both. And then just some random DPS. What was this? The Thing and She-Hulk. I didn't even know they were in their own series, but something large. But there's some old She-Hulk pages in there too, and I mean, you name it. There's DC stuff. There's JLA stuff. So I don't even know what we'll bring, but we'll probably figure it out. You know, like I'll probably just bring a little bit of everything. Some Marvel, some DC, mix in some odd stuff, and then
it's a British invasion of CAF.
It is, isn't that weird? That is kind of yeah, but it'll be fun. Because I did get to hang out with him for a little bit when I met him at MegaCon. I picked him up at the airport. Figured, I'm like, this will make it easy. I'm gonna actually pick him up. That way, I'll have the portfolio with the art in it, and we don't have to worry about it. And so it was cool getting to hang out with him. We talked for a little bit about what he wanted to do and stuff. Because he's obviously switching over to doing his creator-owned stuff now for the next year. So he just felt it was the right time to kind of do more stuff. He's always been selling his art, trying through CAF and stuff, but he wants to go kind of all in, having CAF do it. But he asked me to help fulfill it. So hey, if we can fix the few black marks that he got from shipping late and everything, then that's good. That's always a good thing. The other thing was Gwen actually bought a piece from Anthony, and I don't know why, she's got a thing for Tony Stark, and but she's very particular about her Tony Stark. He has to look like suave, and I don't know. And so she saw this Riley Brown piece and just thought Tony Stark looked pretty awesome. So I forget who did the inks on this piece, but
she likes anime Tony Stark.
Exactly. Yes, and so
makes sense.
She's totally into that. So I didn't even tell her we got it, but so I opened it for her. She's probably gonna be mad at me, but at any rate, there you go, Gwen. If you're watching, your page came in, so you should be very happy. Then the only other thing, non-art related thing, but it's sort of art related. I finally, we do that Infected by Art book. I finally got my copy of the book from last year. They came out in October or something, but Donato Giancoia cover on it, and we switched publishers. We worked with Brucci on this, so he helped us. We did all the grunt work, laying the book out, but his team at Dynamite. We worked with them and the printers that they had, and I'll be honest, this is probably the nicest book we've ever put together. Where I look at it, a lot of the other books we get, things just didn't look solid. They just didn't feel like they were, really well done. This is like easily the best book we've.
This is 12.
This is 12. No, this is 11. I'm sorry. We just finished 12 with the jury. So this is 11. But
I have 11 from the Kickstarter.
Yes, those, because they shipped out like a month and a half ago, but they always go to Todd, the guy that I do the book with, and so I didn't even get a preview copy of it. So I finally emailed Todd and I said, I think I'm a little overdue to get my copy. So it was very nice, but yeah, it came out good. I was pretty happy with that. Nick's team did a very good job. And Nick's in the audience. I'm glad you were here, Nick, to hear that. It really turned out very nice. The printer did a fantastic job with it. So, scratching more things off my list, I might as well show the schedule since we were talking about the art. It does have some of the people we were just talking about there. Brent Peoples this Saturday. I've got Prop Store and then Heritage next Monday and Tuesday. The Heritage shows are going to be a little bit earlier on Tuesday. It'll be at 7 p.m. But we're going to we'll have our guest from Europe hanging out with us, and then we have Mikhail. You're on this list. I kind of forgot about that. Next Wednesday, you and Wolvie Fan doing something as an AD&D match. I think that'll be interesting. It'll be fun no matter what. Having you guys battling it out for our amusement. And then John McRae then that following Saturday, and then on Monday and Tuesday, it's like too many auctions again. Hakes preview on Monday, and we have Comic Connect auction preview on Tuesday. Dexter Vines on the 16th. We've got a collector conversation with Larry on the 18th, and then you can see I've got Brian Hitch on the 23rd. Then Josh Middleton. I saw Josh was in the chat. He's been hanging around a bit. We're going to do an interview and maybe sell a piece or two during this. It's a Tuesday night. I can't say that what we will or won't do. We haven't talked about it yet, and we kicked around some ideas. Casper and I chatted with him the other day. So yeah, we're going to do an interview on the 26th with Josh, which will be a lot of fun. He's he, as many of you know, if you're fans of his work, he's only been, I think, 2 shows in 10 years in the U.S. So you don't get to see him too often, and so having him on camera is going to be a lot of fun. He's got a fair amount of his art that he's just saved during that time. So we're going to take a look at his process and see some of the things that he has laying around the studio. Then I've got Tim Seeley interview and art sale on the 30th, and then we've already booked Mike Oming for an interview and art sale on the 20th of April. So busy schedule, but good. And I've got a whole bunch of people who are maybes on collector interviews. So anybody that wants to just like throw themselves into a collector interview, you just shoot me an email and I'll add you to the schedule.
It's like the season is ramping up. It's nonstop.
It is. It's kind of, well, that's the cool thing. I was actually talking with a collector earlier today, and it seems like, just we're rolling from OAX, and, Comic Art Live is just on the horizon. I mean, it's less than 90 days away now. I mean, heck, I think it's like 70, 4 days away, something like that. So we've got to start planning for that now. And the mystery sketches will go on sale again in like 6 weeks or so. And we definitely have a few surprises there, from people that we were at OAX that, one of the things that, the more artists that we work with, we're trying to get them to be more involved with Comic Art Lives, the virtual shows, and, and just with CAF in general, because, so many of these creators we've never really had the opportunity to work much with, we just don't. So now whenever we have a point of contact, we're always like trying to remind them, so if they ask to be in the, about OAX, and we say we're still in the process, we say, but there's Comic Art Live in May and in November, and, and this, that, and the other. So we're really trying to, engage a lot of people in ways that I didn't do before. So we already have a few new faces for Mystery Sketch for this next time. And I won't say whom they are until we get a little closer.
But we'll have to get even more so we can cover the gamut. Like I didn't get, I think, I usually get a couple of jiggies, but this time I only got one. And because we had so many new artists participating, so that was really fun to see. Like, where's it going to come from?
Exactly. I mean, Maureen and I bought. I think we got 6 this last time, and I pretty much was all over the place as well. I think I got 2 from Jiggy, but then I had one from Tatiana, 2 from Mark, and I forget who the last one was, but either way, it's definitely changed from the early days. When we only had about 20 artists doing it, and most of them were from Jiggy's crew. It was a little bit, the odds were in your favor that way, I guess, to get over on Jiggy's side. But I mean, I saw it was funny.
I think everyone just goes out above and beyond. That's what's fun about it.
By and large. And what's cool is I saw there was some PR that went out about Bill Morrison, doing something at an upcoming show. And then you see mystery sketches in there as his examples for what he's doing. Same thing with Mark Hayes sent out a commission email. I think it was earlier this week, maybe Monday or Tuesday. It was just a list. And as I'm scrolling through it, you see like 3 or 4 or 5 mystery sketch pieces as the examples of their work. I mean, like you just said, those are the pieces that they spend a little bit more time on, and so it's cool to see those be the exemplary pieces that they want to show off when they're trying to solicit more commissions. So cool. As everybody knows, we had the best of. Mikhail was my co-host for that. And whenever we send out the trophies and get those out to everybody, I always ask the people who got them if they would send me photographs of where they end up putting the trophies on display. And so the trophies went out about 10 days ago. So I started getting, photographs in my email this past week. So I don't have a lot, but I have a few. So I can show you, I think 5 or 6 or 7 people's stuff here. So Bill Johnson, has it up on his bookshelf, and he has it next to his 2021 trophy. So that's cool to see. Very, the contrast between the rocky base and the cloud is fun to see. I do think in 2024 we're just going to do something totally different. I have no idea what, but I think the Thor hammer, 3 years of that is enough, and we'll come up with something a little different. Then I've got one here from Dino. I'm not sure how Darth Vader plays a role in this one, but he's good to see. He adds a little bit of contrast. He's contemplative on this one, so congrats to Dino. Then Fish, he sent me 2. He was so proud because, well, of course, he did get 2 trophies, so he might as well send me 2 different photos. So he's got the Watcher looking over his 3 trophies that he's earned over the years, and he had this other group shot with the trophies here. Very nice, very appropriate. Then, all right, I'm gonna show this one, but it is what it is. This is Matt E. I mean, who knew that Frazetta could paint ducks like that, right? I mean, look at that. I've never seen ducks painted so well. But and we get a light bulb in here too. And if I'm reading that right, it does look he has a 2021, a 2022, and a 2023. So he's probably the only one that has won a trophy in all 3 years that we've done them, and it's sitting on top of a box of Smith and Wesson. Shells casings, I assume. I don't know what. There's a lot of. This is a deep photograph in many ways, but congrats to Matt. I think fellow Floridian down Miami way or something.
That explains a lot.
Yes, exactly. This is how we dress when we go to the beach, everybody. Then this is
where do you hang your gun holster then?
That's a very good question. We let the duck handle it. Then Steve Lawrence, look at this. This is cool. You get kind of a cribs view of his office, I guess. Look at this thing, man. He's got Galactus and the Super Adaptoid are contemplating his 2023 trophy. I think that's pretty cool. But look at it. He's got some Perez covers on the back wall there. Those are slick. Can't tell what that the giant size. But then there's the Perez Ultron cover to the right. I mean, yeah, I think he likes George's work quite a bit. And last but not least, we have something from James. And, I did forget that we gave James a trophy because of all of his work when he did the Collector Conversations in 2021. So, yeah, he has 2 trophies for his honorable service to the channel. But clearly there's an issue with this photograph because there is no Cyclops. I don't understand it. Can you explain it, Mikhail?
I feel like they're at his wake, and then the trophy is like his headstone.
All right, that's probably true. I mean, it is Mohawk Storm. I mean, she did probably kick his rear end once or twice, in that mindset. But yeah, I mean, I don't know where James is, but he didn't give me a reasonable answer to why we didn't have Cyclops in this thing. But congrats to everybody for getting their trophies out and the photographs out. I mean, there's at least another 10 that were sent out. So anybody who's received one and would like to send in a photograph of where you end up displaying it, we would appreciate that.
It's a ton of fun to see the little dioramas that people put together.
Indeed. There you go. Bootlegging says it's because Cyclops sucks. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate that. Carl says Cyclops is in wave 2 of those X-Men 97 figures. So that's got to be the reason. It's just not been out for sale yet. Marcus says fell behind the shelf. Not worth the effort. All right. Well, moving right along. We can go into the picks. I got my picks to go through. I can look at Heritage first here. And there was actually a lot of good stuff at Heritage this week. It was kind of difficult to figure out which 10 pieces I wanted to show. But I whittled it down. I would encourage everybody to probably go and take a look. And it was kind of cool. I saw Nick Rucci picked up a few pieces from last week's auction. He said he threw some like thrill bids out there, and they ended up being low enough that he won on them, a couple covers. So
I'm hearing a couple stories like that nowadays.
I think Javi picked up a few pieces for the first time in a few years. I mean, I don't know. Can you call it auction fatigue? I think it's just there's just too much, out there right
And
now.
there's so much good stuff. Like in the Heritage, there's this mini Neil Gaiman show coming up right in the middle. Comic Link has a bunch of good stuff. Somebody sent me a link to a Dennis Cohen Deathlock cover on Hakes. So yeah, there's no shortage of pretty things to look at.
There really is too much. I don't know what what are we going to do? I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, maybe if anything starts forcing prices down a little bit, it might be because there's just too much out there, at once. And maybe that happened because our mini recession, so some people needed money and they threw even more pieces out, because it didn't feel like as much as we've had so many auctions in the last 2 years, the last like 3 months have just seemed just excessive. I mean, you look on Dueling Dealers, we're lucky to we sell 5 pieces last night. I mean, it's good, it's fun to hang out, but there's just too much out there right now. So I don't know. And look at me, I was just showing off all this art that I'm going to be showing on Saturdays. So I'm a part of the problem too. Jeff Wedding says it's the OAX 90-day recovery program. I mean, I don't know. I don't have an answer for it.
But we're right in tax season as well.
That is true. Are you done with your taxes, Mikhail?
Hopefully tomorrow morning I'll be done.
Good. I've got all my business taxes done. That was my goal. I like to get all that done as early as I can. I have not finished my personal taxes yet, though. But yeah, I'll get there. But here we go. Let's take a look at my selections for this week. So starting off, it was a Brian Bolland Camelot 3000 page. And not like super overtly impressive, but I think there's a lot of people who love Brian's work, and I have fond memories of Camelot 3000, and so I figured I got to show it off, because these don't come up too often.
And it's great figure work.
Mm-hmm.
It's super interesting.
Yeah, no, I like it. And then I really like this piece here, this Krenkel Tarzan. It was, I forget what it is, what book, The Lost Kingdom, some illustration that was published. So this is really nice. I mean, there's so much Krenkel artwork out there that it starts to look just, I don't know. I've never owned a piece by Krenkel, but as you see this, I'm like, I wouldn't mind owning that. It's really nice, and and it was published. I mean, yeah. So this is kind of cool. I kind of like the sepia ink and the tanned paper. It's very nice.
It looked really nice framed with like a big mat just kind of disappearing into the middle of the image.
Yeah. This was just a fun piece. Jim Woodring. I mean, every time I see his stuff, it makes me think I want to buy one, but I haven't seen too many DPSs before. But this thing is hallucinogenic, practically. I mean, you just look at all the wavy lines in this cave and whatnot. I mean, it doesn't even matter how crazy all these creatures look, but this thing is just astounding. I love this thing. I mean, it's
this is definitely a blacklight poster.
Yes, yeah. This is something that Scott Eater would have on his site for everyone to enjoy and pick up. I've never actually seen. Well, I can't say I've never seen any Woodring art in person. I'm sure I've been to Scott's table enough at New York or San Diego that I probably have, but I don't feel like I've seen any of his work in person. But yeah, this one's I like this one a lot. Then this one's just a Ramita Jr. Spidey page, but with 3 villains on it. You get Craven, and I thought Samuel. I thought every one of these panels is awesome. But I'm not a big Spidey collector or Spidey guy, but the villains are always cool, and I thought this was just a really nice page. Scott Hanna.
Yeah, it's like a really cool, like you're saying, like a showcase page for the villains.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, all 3 are done really well. Triple threat, says Rick Welch, and I knew that Nick Barucci would like that one. And look at Marcus says it's the Craven movie coming out this year too.
Is it Jansen inks?
This one is Hanna, actually, Scott Hanna inks. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice page. Really, yeah, I mean, it's if I was gonna own a Spidey page, it would probably be this. I actually have a Tim Sale Spidey page, and Craven is featured more on it than Spidey is. So yeah, I guess that tells you where my interests lie within the Spider universe. Then fellow art collector and artist Phil Hester. This was from Gotham City Year One cover. I just I actually like Phil's work a lot, and it's not like he just has a great design sense about his stuff. I've always admired it. I kind of like the way he treats figures, just in his own stylized way. I don't really know why Woodsy the Owl is in this one. He's not holding a Tootsie Pop or anything, but I just like the composition of this piece with the band in the background.
The band is really cool, like just so sharp but distinct.
Yeah, indeed. Phil would be somebody I'd love to get to OAX, and I definitely need to get back on the channel for an interview. Just honestly, to talk to him as an art collector. I'd love to see more pieces from his collection and see which ones he covets the most, because gosh, I mean, I think he has a couple thousand pieces of art in his calf gallery.
He's very active.
Yes, he is. And then I didn't pick this one because of the John McCrae show, but I always liked his Punisher work. And so you get a John McCrae Punisher piece, and it's really this last panel is just so tough. The shadow on his face like that. I mean, he is dark as dark can be. I mean, I love his eye just being the little white dot there. Yeah, I think this is pretty cool. So Olazaba inks on this one, Punisher 37. So.
Well, Olazaba won't let us forget that it's his.
I know. No, he will not. Look at that, right into his chest. So, yeah. And in red, no less. Yep. Then we have a Nestor Redondo. This is just I can't imagine. It says King Arthur Camelot splash from early 70s. I just love the details in this piece. This could be in a classic illustrated book or something, but I just thought it was really a really well done artwork, and
that's beautiful.
Come on, yeah, King Arthur and Camelot. Everybody's having a good time, roasting something right there in front of the king. Then what was the next here? Dick Dillon. Joe Giella title page to Justice League 102. I don't know. Again, I'm not a DC guy, but title pages are always kind of special, right? Especially in DC, because they're always kind of like these covers within a story, right? I mean, a lot of times, and this is like a perfect example of it. I mean, they're just kind of setting the story and then throwing these figures in front of this hand with the globe. I just thought it was interesting beyond some of the normal stuff that we see from DC. I just thought this was a fun piece. And
no, I agree. The fact that it's a title page gives them license to make it different and for it to work and to have this, the floating figures.
Yeah, and I think the cover to this issue was in the weekly auction as well. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure it was. So the cover to JLA 102 is also in here, but I picked the title page instead. Then this was just a fun piece. You get Sergio Aragonés and Tom Yates drawing Gru and Conan squaring off. They must have both been at the same show or something, but I just thought, that's fun. I mean, I've actually never owned anything by either of these guys. And so it's like if you never have, there's your opportunity to kind of kill two birds with one stone in a really unique piece. I mean, both artists are phenomenal in their own ways, and look at
the look on Gru's face is just perfection. Just the attitude.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the dog's pretty upset too. But I like this. I hope it does really well, and I hope it ends up on CAF too, because it's a very fun piece. An unlikely pairing. You got that right, Rick. What was my last piece? See, I'm not even familiar with the title or the artist. Juan Jose Rip, a Warren Ellis Wolfskin 3. Look, if you go back to this, I thought this was a pencil piece. when I first saw this, and then when I read the description, it's all ink, and I just thought, man, look at the crazy amount of detail in here. This is like something you'd see Nick Patera do, or I don't know.
What if Cam's guy's Philia
right,
does work like this?
Yep.
Yeah, it's great.
Matt Allison, I mean, would cram detail like this into something. Well, Matt wouldn't even put this much detail into it. This is just, it's really, really, really well done. But I have no idea the artist. I mean, Juan Jose Rip. I'm gonna have to look at CAF to see if there's anything else out there. But either way, I just thought this thing was amazing, and I didn't even notice the dead bodies behind him. I just thought he was ready for battle, not finished the battle. So. Yes, needs a bolder holding line. Okay. Anyways, he says NSN art. Hey, Michael. Michael says Rip does a lot of work for Avatar. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna do some research because I thought that was pretty cool. Very well done. So there you go. Those are my 10 heritage picks. And now, I mean, but again, there were several really good pieces on there this week that I think definitely worth looking at. I didn't feel that way last week, but this week there's some pretty good stuff there. Now we can take a look at the EXP video, which I have not previewed yet, but I know Nick he's got a show tomorrow at 7:00, and we get to preview the artwork that he's bringing to the show before everyone else right here, right now.
Everyone, missed you last week. But Will did a better job than I ever could being on the air. He didn't even need Amy. That's how good he is. I can't do anything without Amy. But this Friday, March 1st, March the 1st be with you. I was going to get that joke in one way or the other. You don't even want to know the look Amy's giving me for saying that. Or the look for me saying what anyway. 7:00 Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, the original art experience. It's going to be a fun show. There's going to be some seriousness I'm going to bring to the table in a minute. But let's start with the art that we're going to have. And I'm not sure we're going to make it to everything, and I'll explain why in a minute. But we will have Amazing Spider-Man 32 cover by John Romita Jr. and Scott Hanna. Amazing Spider-Man 47 cover, John Romita Jr. and Scott Hanna. Brett Booth, Batman, Superman, Brave and the Bold #2 cover. Or is it just Batman, Brave and the Bold 2 and Superman happens to be on it? A little bit of Sean Chen action, Ultimate FF. Let's see if I can put it in. Wolverine 185. Star-Lord by Greg Hildebrandt. Check out that layout. I think it was for a trading card. We're going to have some Matt Clark art. We'll have Captain Britain. We'll have Iron Man. We will have Bagley. We will have the thumbnails to Superior Spider-Man #6 and the cover to #6 and Scarlet Spider #2 by Bagley and Hanna. And we're going to have Superior Spider-Man pages. Look at this. Page 5, page 2, page 19. We're also going to have some Captain America by Steve Epting. Now, I am going to have at least one Steve Epting Captain America page at $100 or less. Maybe I'll do more than one. Got to tune in Friday to find out. I will probably have other pages at $100 or less. Got to tune in Friday to find out. I'm also going to have, and I am, check this out, 2 Manhunters. That is original art by Walt Simonson on his artist edition. We will have 2 of these for sale. One which is pure pencils, and one that was pencils and inks. And we're going to have a little get-together from Chicago. Tom McDonald, Kazra are going to be coming up on the air to say hi to everybody. They're doing a get-together Friday night. Now here's where we get serious. We are going to do a little bit of a fundraiser for Zyla, Dan Parsons' daughter. 23 or so years ago, Dan Parsons worked on a trading card series for us called Lex. We did some oversized cards. This is what we're going to do on Friday. If you buy one of these, we'll figure out the price. I think we're going to do them at $40 each, but if you donate $40 or more, You'll donate it straight to the GoFundMe, not pay me. It'll go straight to the GoFundMe. This way we can get those dollars up because she's almost at $39,000. Let's see how close to 40,000 we can get her. And this way, I don't know if it helps the algorithm or placement on GoFundMe, but whatever we can do to raise more money. You know, she's gone home, things are better, but let's help make it even better still. So all the sales from this will go to Zyla's GoFundMe and help Dan Parsons. And all these sketches are by Dan Parsons. So it's going to be cool. So Friday, March 1st, may you march to the show and be first to be with me. I am doing a terrible job of May the 4th be with you. 7 p.m., hit that thumbs up. Share. Sharing is caring. Amy will be there with me. The show should go well. So see you guys Friday.
See, I didn't have any leap year jokes to go here, but yeah, you know, one thing I did forget to mention, I didn't even write it in my notes, and not to go somber here, but yeah, we did lose not only Ramona Fraden, but we also Ed Jaster, who was worked at Heritage. He was on a few shows here. He passed away this last weekend, and yeah, it's a loss. He's a guy who's been around the hobby for such a long time. And you know, the few times I got to talk with him, he was always a very enthusiastic guy. You know, there's a lot of the people who work for Heritage and have been around. A lot of those businesses are. You know, they just have the same kind of friendly energy that you see in Nick Barucci and a lot of the people that we're used to, you know, associating with. Because in general, everybody who's involved in our hobby really has a positive approach to things. Ed always did, from my interactions with him, and yeah, definitely a loss. So I'm sure everybody at Heritage is definitely going to be you know, lesser for not having a guy like Ed around. And I know I've got Joe on next week, I think. So I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about Ed. But I wanted to throw that out there if people weren't aware of that or didn't know it. But yeah, it's unfortunate. But we can get into the CAF update now, and those Epting pages were very nice. Epting's you know, somebody we'd love to get to OAX. I have to say he's on our list. I won't tell everybody who Bob Layton struck out with though, but we had two people who were, I thought one would have been like a sure thing easy, and the other one was pie in the sky, and they both said no for different reasons, unfortunately. But we tried. We figured if we you know, we didn't want to approach them ourselves because we figured it would have been straight up no. But you know, the Bob Layton Suave magic didn't work either. So, but we tried.
Next time he can take them out for red crabs and see if that sways them.
That's right. Yeah, but yeah, we're trying. We're trying. We've got a few you know, ideas that we had from year one that we didn't get to explore. So we figured we'd swing a little early and see what might turn out. But yeah, some good things are happening. So this is our CAF updates covering the 19th through the 25th of February. And you know, as we start with the dealers. Dealers had kind of a down week, $261,000 as opposed to $335 the week before. Albert had his art drop, and he made up more than half of the art sales. 181,000 of the 261 was Albert Moy. Where does he put all that money? I don't know, but he did rather well. I didn't even look at the art drop. I can't imagine what you know, what all the pieces were that sold. I mean, I know a couple of pieces are going to be in our top 6 here, but Will had the second most sales, $20,000. Anthony only had 17, and Glenn had 15, and Mike, of course, was in Colombia doing God knows what, so he didn't sell anything last week. Let's see here, top 6 sales from dealers. Right. Yep. Here we go. So Albert, of course, he's going to have the number 1 and number 2. So this is Justice League of America 53 cover, Sikowski and Murphy Anderson. This one sold, there you go, $140,000. Well, that makes up everything. One piece made up more than half of the sales that we tracked last week. And then here it is, that Jack Kirby Werner Roth piece from issue 13, page 10. Look at that. Juggy is trapped in a block of ice. We've done that on Dueling Dealers a few times. That one went for $20,000. Then what do we have next is Will's page. The Fate of the Phoenix X-Men Commission. John Byrne went for $19,000. Then we got another Albert piece, Fantastic Four 110 page. This is John Buscema, Joe Sinnott. Negative Zone, something every FF collector would like to have in their collection. Then you got a nice John Byrne Superman 9 page, which is pretty sharp. Obviously, that stuff's been going up in value. This one went for $5,500, sold by Glenn. And last but not least, this awesome Sabretooth page by Gary Frank. Look at that. That is pretty slick. Sold by Albert. Boy, he dominated most of the categories last week. $5,000. So congrats to whoever picked that one up. I like Gary Frank.
It's wild to me that the Byrne commission went for almost the same as the early X-Men published page.
Well, it was Jack Kirby. I'm just saying, I'll be honest, I don't understand it, right? Because Kirby stuff on pretty much every other book that he worked on, early era, the prices are so much higher. But early X-Men Kirby stuff, it's just flat.
But there's enough fanatical X people that they'd be like, that's a great example, and it's an action page, and you've got Juggernaut.
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, I wouldn't mind having one, but maybe I could afford one, because they're just not that they're not that expensive. So I don't know. But like you just said, it's the Byrne stuff is going to always be higher. Paul Smith, a good Paul Smith page is going to beat out any Kirby page that's out there. The first run Cockrum stuff is going to beat out any Kirby stuff, any of the Neil Adams work.
It's pretty wild.
It really is, and it's funny because the more you do go back and look at those issues, I mean it is nostalgic. It's early. Those first 12 issues, they should hold a lot more. I don't know. They should hold some value, but they're still affordable. So we can look at the auction results for last week, and there actually were 4 auctions total. There were 2 specialty auctions at Heritage. They had a Garfield specialty auction, and then a Colin's gonna be mad when I don't remember this. It was a video game art, I think, was the 4th one. I didn't add it to my report here, but sales wise, 562,000 thanks to those other 2 specialty auctions. eBay had just under 200,000 of that, and Heritage had about 205,000 out of that 562. So even without the specialty auctions, Heritage and eBay did over 400,000, which is in general pretty good for those 2 marketplaces. So top sales from both of them. Let's see, where do we go with that? eBay being first. Now this one we know didn't sell, right? This was that piece that somebody got, and it sounded a little suspect, like people emailed them and they got wise that the page was worth more. But it's in our report, and then I just thought it'd be interesting to throw it in there and leave it in there. But that was that Messina page that went for $96.60. Then there was this George Perez Crimson Plague cover to issue 1. Went for I think it was best offer, but was listed at $6,999. And this was a best offer page too. I don't know. I mean, it's John Romita Jr. Daredevil. The images speak for themselves there. That was a best offer too. It was listed at 5, but I know it went for less. Then over at Heritage, this was that JLA cover, that 152, that went for $16,800. Probably should have went for a little north of 20. So that was a steal. I really like this page. I picked it for my Heritage picks last week. This is the Karel Rubenstein Warlord 15-page one, went for $8,400. And then there was this collection of the Cy Berry Phantom strips. They were a bunch of Sundays, I think, maybe 5 or 6, went for $7,800. So I wouldn't mind having one of those. Those early
that was a nice looking strip, yeah.
Yep. But yeah, you read about that the Spider-Man,
yes.
Right? Yeah, same thing. Because the thing is, what I wish is that eBay didn't have a mechanism for people to contact. I mean, I know you need it to ask general things, but when you have people emailing a seller, letting them know that, even just making the seller know that it's probably a really special piece, you're just planting the seeds of somebody backing out of a deal, and that kind of crap just happen.
And it sounds like this is happening on a regular basis.
It kind of, what do you think about it? It always has. I mean, I always talk about how Tim Townsend would always talk back 20 years ago in the Comic Art mailing list, how he'd see a piece he really loved and he'd just reach out and make an offer and get the guy to close his thing. eBay's always had these holes in them, and it's just it's unfortunate. You don't have those problems with Heritage. I mean, Heritage has had a few problems over the years, but this is like a commonplace problem that happens, especially with people backing out of the deals after they realize that they maybe could have gotten more somewhere else, because somebody's throwing a crazy offer at them. So it's
on the other end, there's still those issues with prints being sold as original art and things like that. So
I know. I remember I have that piece from Marcus that Kelly Jones that he sent me after I had it in our market report. So he sent me one. So I've got a piece, but exactly, eBay's just got too many issues. But the funny thing is, I don't pay that much attention to it because I don't really shop there. But I went because I was fixing some of the crawls for eBay the other day, and I was shocked. There was like over 40,000 pieces of original art in the original art category. I mean, I swear, like 4 or 5 years ago, that number was around like 25. So just when you think that it should be lightening up, it's actually there's more art there than there ever has been. So
maybe people realize that I can just throw it up there, and if I feel or get an indication that it's worth more, that this isn't the right venue, I can just pull it and do something else with it.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, there's too many opportunities to make it be a little funky. I know, in a sense, it's 40,000 pieces of original art. We get it. I'm totally with you there. There's prints in there, and there's there's a lot of other odd
sketch
stuff,
covers.
but still, right. But 40,000 pieces is still a lot. I mean, it's just not where it was 5 or 6 years ago. So, because my feeling would have been eBay's just people are pulling away from eBay. There's just too many other alternatives out there, to sell OA. And
it's also a good example of, hey, maybe Heritage's or the auction houses juice is worth it, because this is they're protecting you from all of this.
I think as a buyer, you start to think, I'd rather buy from Heritage, or I'd rather buy from Comic Link or Comic Connect or Hakes, because you're not going to be dealing with a fishy seller who could just be testing the waters with something, right? I mean, I'm totally with you there. It's just it's not fun. I mean, there's no guarantees here. You probably buy it now, and the seller could back out of it. So. Marcus, without eBay, how else would Bob Kane make a living? But I have an original Bob Kane from Marcus too. It's true.
I believe I have one as well.
Oh, you? Well, he shares the love. Marcus, I thought I was going to get an email from you before the show. Well, I hope. I know that the package I sent you arrived, and I hope it arrived intact. And I do hope that we get to see what you got and how it was received, and and where you're proudly displaying that artwork. So hopefully maybe next week we'll get something from Marcus on that. All right, but we can go into our picks this week, right? What do we let me see here. I think I've got yours set up over here, and I know we're starting off with something.
Like the Heritage picks, there was, I think this is the time that I've done it where there was the most amount of art to go through. And like my short list was 30, so there were some really nice pieces out there this week.
Well, hopefully I was able to, because I got your list before I did mine, and I kept to your main list. There were a couple pieces I was a little jealous of that you had in yours, but
that's why I gave you all the alternates, because I figured some of them might be.
Well, no, they were all good, and I'm totally with you. Ever since the end of last year, when people started posting in earnest to get their best of 2023 pieces out there, there's just been a really a dearth of wonderful art being posted to CAF. I mean, I don't know, maybe my perception has changed, but it just seems week after week that there's a lot of nice art being acquired and making its way to the site. So it does make
a couple of interesting trends I noticed. I saw at least 2 collectors who had been on the site for a very long time, but were posting art for the first time. I mean, I'm talking about like 20 years of not posting anything, and now they're posting, really nice pieces. A really interesting collector from the Netherlands, Paper Chaser, put up a bunch of nice stuff, and he's been a member for a very long time. And then I think there's one gentleman with all the Predator art. He was also posting after being a member for a long time. So that was good to see, and kind of heartening to look at where they see the community and the website, and they feel comfortable sharing now.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I had a gentleman go premium today who I think has been on the site 18 years. And, and I'm always curious, like, what was the, maybe it's the larger scans. I don't know what tips the scales for people, but yeah, I've literally, I think we had 6 new premium members this past week. And, a lot of them were people who were maybe 2 or 3 years, into CAF, but still, I don't typically get, most of our premium payments every week are renewals, right? So to see that many people kind of, investing in CAF in that way and their CAF galleries, I think is great. Yeah. So I mean, this whole, like the last 3 months have been pretty fun, to watch all this stuff going on. And we like everybody knows, with all the stuff, all the the work on the app, and just Maureen discovering I knew you were going to like that feature. The idea that you can, because this could happen on the site search too. We could really make it a part of any place where you're trying to filter artwork, where you can pick multiple. I think the idea of just being able to see, like, I can pick covers, title pages, and splash pages, and just show me everything that was done in watercolor. Bam! What a great set, because today you can only.
It's gonna be great.
You got to do 3 searches to do that today, and now it's going to be so much easier. I think people actually spend a little bit more time on the new art page, and it's already the #1 page on the site. But if you can literally filter it like that, I mean, I'm going to spend more time on it, because it's so much easier. But Maureen just stumbled on this thing. She's like, I can't believe it. I just read this, a page in the Microsoft Tech book, and it spelled out exactly what I've been looking for the last 18 years. And she's like, and I've already implemented it. And here, take a look at it. I was like, my jaw was, I'm like, I had to hold it up, because I couldn't believe it. I mean, I wanted to cry. It was that amazing to actually see something like that work. And I told her immediately, I'm like, one of the first things we're going to do is put that in the dealer search, because I know so many people want that, the ability to pick and choose whom they search on. So yeah, very, very, very exciting stuff. Some fun stuff going on.
Thank you, Maureen. I know nobody wants to kick back and relax with a technical manual at the end of the day. So
I know. And she was literally, because this was something, it comes up every year. I bring it to her, but I always forget. I'm like, you're going to figure it out, Maureen. This is like programming 101, right? This should be easy. Everybody's doing it, and yeah, it took her to sit down with a manual, and there it was. Just like, I don't know. But anyways, it's wonderful. So let's take a look at our picks. We're going to start off with a piece by Arthur Adams, and just like the best ofs, Arthur Adams could have his own. We could have somebody that comes in every week and just picks 10 good Art Adams pieces that were posted from the week before.
It's unfair.
It is, and the thing is, I mean, he's so talented, but the thing is, it's also he works on like characters that we love, right? And so he's got everything going for him, stylistically, and then just character wise, that you're always attracted to his work. But this piece obviously, it attracted a lot of attention, because it's beautiful, and it has so many characters in it.
I mean, I was commenting before the show started too. It just looked so nice as the thumbnail. Like, it just presented beautifully, and you could just see the movement and the intention of the artist and all the detail. It's fantastic. Yeah, it really, I mean, I know a lot of people saw this on Facebook and they were loving it. I mean, everything about it is great. It's so
It's so beautiful. Yeah, it's Batman, and I even love it. But yeah, I think this is great. But I do think Art Adams deserves his own category on CAF for most things. But so this is Bill J's piece, and Bill just adds to his already notable collection on CAF with this great piece. Is it on one page? I would assume so, right? I didn't read the description on this one, but I actually thought it was just one
I'm
board.
sure it's on one board.
Yeah, yeah.
And
and
just the contrasts are just, he's done so much work to pick the right texture and the right contrast to make everything present as it should and be placed in the right plane.
Yeah, look at that, 90 comments on this thing already. I mean, that's sick. And I bet you, and again, a lot of times you'll see, the art owner
Right.
posting, replies. I mean, I haven't seen one from Bill in here yet. So these are 90 legitimate, people who just I really admire that piece. And I don't, whether it's strategic or not, Bill does get the most commented piece almost every year. And here he's got this one posted in February. It's at 90 comments already. It's bound to get another 10 or 20 throughout the rest of the year. So he's already got a piece that's in the running for having the most comments on CAF in 2024. But
and easily in the running for best of in the cover category as well.
Without question. Yeah. And I wonder, have we ever had, thinking back on that, like most commented piece, has it ever won a best of category? I don't think we've had a piece of art win, in two areas like that. I don't think. That's interesting.
But how long have you been tracking that?
4 years. So I could go back and look, but I have a feeling that, yeah. So not a lot of opportunity for it. But you're right. This piece could do it. It has the potential. Marcus, Marcus loves the Comic Stand videos. I know. And I think they posted their last one yesterday. So this one is whose CAF gallery is this? Oh, Joshua Tan. All right. So this is Kaluta and Vess, right?
I mean, I just love the idea of this on the wall, and you're looking through, like the way they framed it. And you're just looking through to this beautifully rendered, beautifully colored tableau. Like I feel like I can smell and taste and hear the scene that they've set.
Yeah, this is beautiful. I can see this hanging at your home, Mikhail. I mean, it's a piece that I think would go well with like a lot of the other painted pieces you have. I can see, just it feels that, but it's beautiful though. I mean, Vess definitely is somebody who I've looked at a lot of work of theirs and always contemplated buying something, and I've never done it. But he's you can't say he's underappreciated because there's a lot of pieces of his on CAF, but he's just a phenomenal artist, and but I feel like he's not as appreciated as he should be. Yeah, this is great.
He has his rabid fans.
He does.
I believe there's a Facebook group that's very active, and
don't you have a Vess? I'm trying to remember.
I have some pencil and pen stuff from Sandman.
Okay,
but
that's
nothing
right.
painted.
Okay, but very, very nice. All right, well, this is a very good pick. I did not see this one until you sent it. Then next up we have a Redondo, and this is a Swamp Thing page and Glenn Crane's CAF gallery.
And I mean, no Swamp Thing, but just amazing work throughout.
Yeah, I mean it's so clean, right? I mean the lettering is even pristine. The spacing. I mean even looking at the word balloons, even look at the extra padding they put around the text, right? It's just such a really top to bottom fantastic page. I mean,
I thought the figure work was really exceptional, and all the textures of the swamp, as they kind of move through it. There's a ton of text on the page too, like you're saying, but it really works.
Yeah.
Especially that fourth panel, like how they're kind of walking between the text.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, see, this is even better than I thought. Wow. Well, Glenn Crane, he's a big illustration art collector, and I'm always when I see him get something that's from a comic, it's always interesting to see what pieces he would select because of knowing his his main collecting passion. But yeah, he's got a good eye. I mean, this is a fantastic example of Redondo's work. I'm jealous. Mr. Wigan says it's very refined. I agree.
Well, you can still go place a bid on that.
I know,
King's,
huh?
that page. I think it was under $100 at this point.
All right, see, you're almost as bad as Jason. And Jason's like every time he sees something I think I should buy, he's always like emailing me saying, "Hey Bill, you see this?" That means he's passed on it. But no, but you're absolutely right though. When I saw the Redondo, I actually thought that might be a piece I should throw a bid on because again, he's an artist that I've never owned anything by, but yeah, this is a good one. Then this is an interesting pick. Let me go back up to here. It's M. Schwiller, and of course M. Schwiller did a lot of paperback artwork. A lot of illustration work. I don't know, did it have the year in here for this piece? 57. I love the colors in this one, let alone the fact that the woman's pretty hot with a gun in her hand. But I thought this was an exceptional piece.
I thought it. I believe the collector posted 3 or 4 of these style of pieces this week, but this is one of the first ones I saw, and like you said, the colors are really striking, and I think it really is everything you want from the genre. It just ticks all those boxes, and you immediately know what it is, and it tells a story, and you're like, I could totally dig into this and find out more about what's happening.
Yeah, agreed. I don't know how, there's clearly I know they're out there that, groups of illustration art collectors, because these are things that we just never see, out there. I mean, Berkey will never have something like this. Maybe Albert once or twice might pull a piece like this. I just have a feeling like there's this group.
Well, if you read the comments, it bears that out because
does it? Okay.
They got it from someone, and someone else says, I also had this piece. So I think it just went collector to collector.
And that is so much like things were in the old days of comic art collecting, before CAF. When I first started collecting, that's why it was it was hard to figure out how to get in to be a buyer when it seemed like everything just changed hands collector to collector. I mean, there were dealers out there too, but collectors kind of stuck within within their groups, the people they knew. And illustration art is still, at least from this era, is definitely still kind of in that mindset. And maybe because they don't think guys like you and I would appreciate owning something like this. I don't know, but I'd certainly like the opportunity to see something like this and be able to at least contemplate being able to buy it. But you just never see them on the market. Sometimes on Heritage you'll see something like this pop up, but it's usually rare, and it's usually like when Glenn Crane was selling his collection, right? Stuff like that. So Cabal, that's very, very true. So all right, well, there you go. So this is a good one. And who was the art collector here? Oh, Bruce W. All right. You said he posted a couple other ones this week.
Yes.
I will go check out his what he posted, because I don't think I saw them. Now this is a great page. Everybody wants to own a Zach McCloud Spidey page from this era and storyline. I mean, but this is a very nice page, top to bottom. It kind of has everything you'd want in it. That first panel is just awesome.
Yeah, I almost didn't want to pick it, but when I do the picks, we talk about, you say, there's various things that make a page interesting or historically of interest, and I tried to cover a little bit of everything. And this, for what it is, for the storyline that it represents, for the artists that are involved, I think, it has to be highlighted and kind of celebrated.
Yeah, I mean, so true. I mean, yeah,
I mean, that third panel of, putting him in the coffin.
Right. Yeah, no, this is it's amazing. And I wonder what, because I don't think when I had McLeod on that one time that we really talked about his work on this. But I wonder what did he realize how how well revered this work was going to be, in 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, that people would be every collector wishes they had a page from this run, right? I mean, you wonder if in the moment they realized how great their their storyline and their collaboration was, or if it was just work.
I mean, no, to bring rats into the mainstream and to make them art, it's like Fish has that splash of just the tombstone and a rat right there. It's this kind of theme that runs through it, and it's so dark that I think it really resonated with people and stuck in their heads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I completely agree. And Carl Choi is watching the show on a plane again. What is this? This man is a jet setter. He's off once again.
He's like Nick Barucci. If he stops, he's like a shark. He has to keep moving.
Like well, he's dabbling in the publishing world.
It's that publisher mentality. Yeah, that's what it takes.
Uh-huh. Man, I'm in the wrong business. But no, this is a good one. And JD got this one. Fortunate to have a lot of patrons. Okay, picked this up from Ramita Man almost 10 years ago. I mean, I love reading stuff like that.
I know that was part of the appeal to me too.
10 years in his collection, and he's finally deciding to show it to us so that we know he's got it. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of like Mickey. Obviously Mickey's still picking stuff up regularly, but he every day he pulls out something new that he's had in his collection. I love seeing stuff like this. I mean, for whatever reason, like you said, I mean, people who are coming back to CAF or whatever, but it's nice to see people posting stuff they've had for a while. Yeah.
And JD was at OAX and was probably one of the people who traveled the furthest coming from the Philippines.
That is very true. Now this is wonderful. Thank you, JD, for posting this. And if you have any other ones, we'd like to see them too. Let's see, get the like on that one, and then this piece. This was a pretty crazy piece here, and it's in Daryl's CAF gallery, and my goodness, man, there is a lot of work on this piece, and a lot more details in it than you would think. But look at that, you've got more gore in this thing, I think, than I've seen in a piece in a long time. A man cloven in half, and gentleman holding his own foot, I think. It's got a lot of triumph and tragedy.
It definitely went against the kind of, you can have a rule of thumb that if the thumbnail is interesting, then the piece is interesting. But this one, the thumbnail is muddy. And when you click in and you look at it, it's super captivating. Yeah, I mean, just look at that. All the textures, the zipatone, and then the work on top of it. It's really I would love to see this in person.
Yeah, I mean, you almost have to, because of the zipatone that's in there. Just looking at even in the grass, I mean, how it looks like he's cut the zipatone to kind of have these blades of grass. Maybe here it looks like he's cut into it. Here it looks like he's painting over it. Yeah, I mean, there's just an immense amount of work that went into this thing, and I'm still amazed.
Holding the foot. That's amazing.
And these are all fresh cuts too, because I mean, they're still squirting at the end of the day. It's just, oh man. But I marvel at the use of zipatone, the people who can do it really well, because I just can't imagine, because I mean he's using different texture, different pattern, zipatone here, and all together well. I mean it's literally like a painted piece. It's done so
Oh, and this could
effortlessly.
have been a muddy mess if a lesser
Yeah,
artist had attempted anything like this.
yeah.
And I
Even
believe,
Marcus said,
yes, I believe
all right.
the artist must have finished up a round of commissions because I saw a couple
Mm.
pieces pop up on CAF.
Well, that's okay. Well, who was the artist? I guess I should have said that first. So this is
Victor Alpi,
Victor Alpi.
he works with
See,
Cam.
well, yeah. Well, Cam's been he's definitely been soliciting commissions, but I don't. Why do I not? Victor Alpi's not. I'm not familiar with the name. I guess I'm not paying enough attention to Cam's website. We do hope Cam will come to OAX next year, though. I can tell you that. He he was missed. I think he would have probably had a good time there. I mean, Matt Allison was there. I think we'd love to get a couple more of Cam's artists to come down in 2025.
I'd love to see them take on some mystery sketches. Hint, hint.
You know what? I'm going to ask. That's a good idea. Yeah. I mean, why not, right? I mean, I just think the mystery sketches have done a world of good, not just, from the fact that they're affordable and there's great pieces out there, but I think, the amount of time that we talk about them and we show them off. I mean, I think it's done well for the artists that want to take the time to do them too. We've helped. It's not. I don't want to call it marketing, but or exposure, because artists hate the word exposure. But I think we do a pretty good job of talking about them. I mean, an artist like this, like I say, I'm not familiar with it, even though I do check out Cam's site a couple times a month. Yeah, I mean, I want to see more. Give me a few mystery sketches, and I guarantee 100 people will know his name and be interested in his art after Comic Art Live is
absolutely.
over. Cool. Let's see here. What was the next piece? And
this one is a little bit out of left field. But the more I looked at it, the more I just really enjoyed it.
Oh, and what year is this illustration?
1910.
1910. Well, it's very period, for sure. It's very, very nice. I mean, I love pen and ink work from that era, and again, it's an interesting piece. How did they get it? Where was this picked up? And the artist's name is Harry Furness. Not familiar with them, but Rob Stolzer definitely has a very eclectic eye, and he's been on the site for a very long time, and always he's one of the CAF galleries I follow, always, because it's it was not drawn by Charles Dickens, Marcus. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Josh says very gory-esque. Yeah, in a way, definitely. I mean, the ink work you can, but that's definitely from that era, though. That style. What the Dickens says, Robert. Yeah, but
I liked all the different line weights. I thought Marcus left a really nice comment about how the richness of the bolt of cloth that he's showing is kind of differentiated from the rest of the fabrics around. Yeah, just a really interesting piece.
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree. Mr. Flanders, I think, is going to be at the meetup in Chicago tomorrow. So if you've ever wanted to meet Josh, it's your opportunity. Gabe Carino. Let's see here. Gabe Carino. Gabe's been on the site for 15 years. Now this one's, it's not the not the Medusa we're used to seeing, but this thing, Canetti can kind of do no wrong, right? I mean, I love his approach to anatomy, and it's very. I mean, this piece, it's like Egon Schiele. I mean, or is it? I think it's pronounced Schiele. I mean, very, very stylistic and cool. And I saw this piece and I thought, what would Matt DiTullio think of this piece?
I really loved seeing how his mind was processing and coming up with this image. It's so well balanced on the page.
Hmm.
It's so distinct. And then there's all these little touches with the costumes and the hair, with the more literal take on Medusa.
Hmm.
The irregularity of the tuning fork on Black Bolt's mask, just everything about it this is not your ordinary piece. This is something really unique.
Well, no description by Gabe, but yeah, no, this is great. I mean, I'm just wondering, when he picked it up. Was it a commission? Was it already done? Was it so? Yeah, I like it. Makes me want to get a piece by Eric. Definitely.
Yeah, just to see how he interprets Thor or what have you.
Exactly. How would he draw Lady Sif with Thor after seeing that? But here's like this. I thought this was great. These two pieces together as a contrast between relationship characters within a relationship, because the artistic style between the two pieces couldn't really be more different. And I think this one is just. I mean, when we say airbrush, I mean this thing is so smooth and supple. Everything from the figures to the clouds to the ray of sunlight, sunlight behind them. I mean, I'm assuming this is probably Copic, but this is done really well.
Going back to your point about seeing these two pieces next to each other, it also shows when you give an artist a commission that has no purpose other than kind of an artistic expression, they can kind of get a bit wild, and you get something like what we saw with the Canetti piece. And here with the cover, obviously, there's more of a mainstream line of thought that goes with it, but it also suits the characters. I mean, this suits Lois and Clark, just like the darker piece suited Black Bolt.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
But yeah, I thought this was really striking.
At first, I wasn't sure about the dark outline on the characters because everything else is so soft. But the more I looked at it, the more I actually, just thought it worked really well because it accentuates the already really nice composition that the page has. And without it, I wouldn't say lose the figures, but it just helps them.
Yeah, I feel like it helps push them up into the air, where they are.
Yep, very true.
And the expressions on the face are great, and the faces is great. And I don't know if you included a color version, but
yep, this is Pablo Villalobos. So yeah.
And then, as you can see, DC Editorial took out the strap.
Yeah, they had to correct that, and it looks like it's huge. Look at this, dang! That's like I'm gonna guess and say like 18 by 24. I mean, if not that, it's at least 16 by 20. That thing that's massive. Wow. Well, that's a good score, huh? Nice. And owner was Matthew P. Oh, nice
Yeah,
pickup.
I really like this.
Matt's in the there you go, 18 by 24. Well, congrats, Matt. This is
Matt.
great piece. Let's see, we got one more piece here. A Frank Cho. And this thing, the detail on this thing must be astounding to kind of actually, if you were the owner of this to look at it. I just think Frank's a master. He when he just throws something up on his Facebook page with where he's drawing like 3 nude women with a ballpoint pen, you're in awe of his ability to kind of noodle something to death until it becomes this brilliant work of art. And this has so much going for it.
I really liked that it's very much like this can be your one and done Frank Cho piece, and beyond that you've got all of his kind of trademark characteristics, with the design and the little red ink touches, and then the 2 versions of Harley, the work on Batman's cape. It just it really turned out to be a perfect piece.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Frank is he's amazing. I mean, I know some people don't like his humor and everything, but I always get it. I always crack a smile pretty much at his anything wheat cake related or whatnot always is good for me. But this is great. And as long as I've known Frank, I've never owned a single piece of art by him. I don't know how that's possible. I've seen so much of it, and I've never picked anything out. But I should probably try to fix that one day. But it's a good pick. I didn't see this one get posted. So who is the owner of this one? Alkes V from Germany. 20-year CAF member. My goodness. Well,
has he been posting for 20 years or?
That's a good question. It'll be easy to find out, right? Let's see. Well, no, I mean, he's so he was a member in 2004, didn't post until 2009. And then look, he had a 3-year gap between 2020 and 2024. So, hey, people come in, they come in and they go out and they come back. I'm just glad that he's back posting. Now, hey, has everybody been using the new, gallery room search features? I hope the keyword search that I've been asked about every month for the last 20 years. I hope people are using it. But
I certainly have. And when you do the picks and you find a new gallery, that's exactly when it comes into play, especially when someone has a larger collection.
Right, because we rolled this out on Friday, right? It was after last week's show. I think I told people we were doing it, and then we did it. Is that right? I can't remember now what day it rolled out, but I don't think we really had a chance to talk about it last week. But I just think it's going to get, because I've been going to people's CAF galleries, and like you, it's like you want to see what other X-Men art they have, because it's easy to search by artist because we had those links in there.
Mm-hmm.
But you can never go in and just say, show me all the Avengers pieces that this collector has, because clearly they've got a couple of good ones. They probably have other ones, and now you can just go right through it and pretty much find anything you want. So that's
so
cool.
as long as they've titled the piece correctly.
Right. Yes, that is very true. Well, 10 good picks, Mikhail. Thank you for doing that. You are.
No, it was a pleasure. Honestly, I always joke that the picks get expensive because you discover an artist and you reach out for a commission, or something happens. In fact, a lot of artists have been posting their work as well. Richard Friend has been posting very regularly some really nice pieces.
I agree. Now, the one thing I noticed when I went into Richard's CAF gallery earlier this week, it looked like, because then I scrolled down to the yellow box, I think it's only his artwork in there now. I swear he used to have like some collected pieces in his CAF gallery, but now it looks like it's, at least what he's showing right now, is just only his stuff. So he's probably using it more for marketing right now versus showing off pieces from his personal collection. But I could have sworn, in the past that there was more work in there. But I'm with you. More artists have. I mean, when the whole cadence thing happened, I had like 4 or 5 cadence artists, asked me about, okay to have a CAF gallery, and some of them created some of them haven't yet. But yeah, we want more artists using CAF. I think that's something we're going to continue to emphasize going forward.
Well, I saw it doing the picks, and it's been great to see Josh Middleton in the chat and kind of coming onto the channel through that. So I think it's starting to, the good word is starting to spread.
Exactly. And once we have a more modern front end to the site and an app, I think everybody will be much happier for it. I can tell you that the redesign of the site will probably take a little bit. We know what we want to do, but one of the things that we're probably going to be focusing a bit of attention on is just some of the branding, and we want to make sure we get it right if we're going to do it. And just rethinking a few things. The app was like, we want to have it to show progress and to get that out there, because it's something that people have wanted for a long time. Just an easy way to like show a fellow collector your collection when you're at a show, right? I am so tired of guys telling me, Bill, you need an app. I'm tired of going to my my iPhone images to scroll through it and then accidentally showing a picture of my wife or my dog when I'm trying to show comic book art. You got to fix this. So we felt like getting the app out there in a version 1 was cool. But when we start thinking about redesigning CAF to be mobile friendly, there's things to consider. I mean, everybody's joked about my logo, and how old it looking and dated it is. I mean, I think there's a few things that we want to think about before we go like all in and totally, rework the site. Because a mobile friendly site would be easy, but there's no sense in like wasting our time to make it work in one way if we're going to, tweak a few things stylistically and stuff. But with the app, we felt like it had to be done, But I'm looking forward to it because either way,
people are excited. There's buzz.
Yes, exactly. So we'll go to my picks now. So let's see here. I kind of went back and forth on a couple of different things, but the Pearson's work I always like, and there's just something about he just has these wispy lines that you don't feel like they should be able to be tied together, and yet they do, and it's like I don't know, I can't describe it, but you know it when you see it. He just has these, his line work is just so it just shouldn't work, but it does. It's like I don't know. And anyway, the point being is I love Jason Pearson's work, and again, never owned anything by him, but like this page here, I'd kill for this page. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, everything about it,
Oh, yeah.
and not just because Cyclops is on there. It's a perfect example of his work. Yeah, and who owns this one? Is anybody? I really
It's
didn't.
Iranga,
Look,
isn't it?
Okay, it is Oranga. See, I didn't even bother to see it, and it was an OAX pickup, so I could have actually owned this had I known it was on the floor.
Iranga was living your best life at OAX.
Damn it,
You got that Paolo Ghost Rider, and now this.
That's that Paolo Ghost Rider. See, Oranga's he's got my taste for art, but yeah, this is just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I'm very jealous of it, and what did Gektek say? I made CAF bumper stickers to put on my locker at work. Don't change it. Well, there will always be a vintage CAF t-shirts out there and things, I'm sure. But anyways, I love this piece. This is, but I know I had no idea it was Oranga's. But Pearson's another, somebody who's I've always wanted to get a piece from. So Oranga, if you're ever going to sell this one, you should at least show it to me first. Let's go there. And Carl Story inks on this too. That adds some pluses. Carl certainly inked his fair share of great pencilers. So yeah, this one's a nice one.
I believe they put out a call for Jason Pearson art to put in an artist edition.
Oh, really?
After he passed, yeah.
I did not know that. Now this is an artist name I was not familiar with, Ricardo Latina. This is Mr. Redjack, Brian Norton. I just like this piece as an illustration. I didn't read what it's Scarecrow, right? But
right.
I just love this drawing. I mean, there's the different textures that they're achieving in the ink work. I love the straw hat. Everything about it. This is just a gorgeous illustration. I love everything about it. I mean, look, just the variety of textures in the burlap sack thing he's wearing or whatever. It's amazing. It really is.
Well,
and
this was in my alternates, so I'm very glad that you picked it.
Oh, was it? See, I didn't even
yeah.
read your read your alternates. So let's see. What is this? It's just I don't.
Just
I
an
don't
illustration.
Yeah, just an illustration. So I think this is fantastic. And
no,
Brian,
I agree. I mean, it's ready to be a cover.
Totally. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm looking at it now. I would love to own this just because it's just such a nice drawing. So congrats, Brian. You did really well with this piece. I love it. And I love the stark background in it. It's just it just makes the figure just pop even more. And really,
it puts him where you would expect to find a figure like this, in this deep, dark place.
Definitely. Next up, Jim Lee Scott Williams. I tend to avoid Jim Lee Scott Williams just because everything they draw is worth $30,000, and it's just, it's untouchable and everybody loves it. So I just tend to avoid it. But I just like this piece. I love the cityscape. It's so, the verticality of these buildings that shouldn't exist and can't exist in the real world. I mean, I love that Batman's just more a silhouette than anything. I just thought this was exceptional. So,
especially Batman being dark and Robin being, well rendered in light. That's a nice little play.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just put them in the Art Adams category, right? I mean, it's just one of those pieces.
It's yeah, exactly. And I avoid Jim Lee artwork to feature like the plague, because it's just everybody loves Jim stuff, and that's kind of unfortunate. But you have those biases when you're picking artwork every week. You're just like, oh, it's another great Jim Lee piece that 10 collectors wish they had in their collection. And it's just there's something about this. I like the composition. The cape behind her just helps kind of the figure pop a bit more. I mean, it's just really nice. And then again, in the background, I keep going back to those buildings. It's that was a lot of work for Scott to ink this thing. So very nice. Let's see.
If the Art Adams hadn't been posted, I would have picked this. Like, I was between those two, and I was like, I'm not going to pick both of them. So it made its way to the top anyways.
It made it there anyway. Then this is yours. Now, I mean, I think for me, Sonia was a highlight at OAX, and she put a lot of nice pieces out there, and I've always liked her work. I mean, she did one of the early Comic Art Lives, and she did like a drawing demonstration, and I bought the piece when it was over. I've really liked her personality. I mean, she was one of the few people I actually talked to there, and we spoke for a little bit, and because she had seen one of the galleries, and I saw some of the work by Dan DeSantos, and she said she was a huge admirer of his work, and I said, he's here, right? And she didn't know that. So it was like the only gesture I did of any kind outside of running sandwiches was finding Dan DeSantos to introduce him to Sonia, and she, and you could just tell it's like she was beaming, and I just think she's a wonderful artist, and she's gotten so much better. I mean, I thought she was good when I first saw her work, and now you see stuff like this. I mean, she's fantastic. I mean, I love her. I love the fact that she works with Tatiana. I mean, she just kind of fits right in with the group of artists, and I think you said you got a couple pieces from her, right?
Right. I'm really flattered that you picked this piece, because there were so many amazing pieces this week. Yeah, she just, ever since I saw the Dazzler that she did for Michael McIsaacs, the mystery sketch again, right?
Yeah.
I knew her as an artist, and I knew some of her work she'd done some Archie related stuff that was really fun. But yeah, when I saw she was coming to OAX, and because we have like some shared cultural background, I thought, let's try and do something kind of fun. And so she did this wedding outfit version of, Miss Marvel that I thought was great. And she said she really enjoyed working on it and was able to pull on her own wardrobe for some of the influences. And just like you said, a really nice person to sit and chat with. And then you combine that with Tatiana, who's also just so friendly and easy to speak with. That was just a great booth to hang out at. And yeah, she was really open, and I really enjoyed speaking with her, and I loved getting this piece. Super thrilled with it.
Yeah, no, you got a really good one here, and right. And Ryan Otogawa was there. He did a lot of really nice pre-con pieces, and he wasn't somebody whose work I was really familiar with. So yeah, it was fun. I mean, I'm just things like you said, things worked out really well at the show. But Sonia is just she's got a bright future ahead of her. I mean, she's very skilled, and I love her color work. I want to see more work like this from her. I hope
I would love to see. Yeah, I would love to see more people commissioning her, and to see what she comes up with.
Agreed. Well, congrats on this one, Mikhail. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Then I picked this one. I feel like I picked something from Duke One probably like 4 months ago. It could have been like from the same series of stuff. Tom Riley, Joshua Williamson is it Williamson, yeah, the writer. But Riley's stuff, I just think storytelling wise with action, I mean, it's just really well done. I love the inset panels. Just kind of, it's funny, you look back at that. The John Byrne X-Men piece that we were talking about, that we had earlier in the piece, page I love with this hand coming out of the water. I mean, little storytelling things like that go a long way, and you get the reflection in the visor, the hand on the, and its jetpack boost, whatever the heck he's got there. It's just fun, and I love the action throughout this, and the way it's done just makes it even all the more interesting. They're flying in the air and everything. I think it's. I don't know. I'm drawn to this page, and I'm drawn to whatever the other page was that I saw like 3 or 4 months ago. That I think was when like the guy's plane was getting, when Duke's plane was blowing up or something like that, right? And there were 2 people ejecting out of the plane. Just something about the style to this piece. I really like it.
There must be something to it. I mean, this was on my short list as well, and. Yeah, it's just great. And I think the juxtaposition of the pilot versus, Starscream, bringing these 2 universes together is also kind of subconsciously really tickling a lot of fun memories. Mm-hmm. And the light and dark choices are great throughout this page.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a jetpack, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, the more I'm looking at it, I'd love to own it. Well, it makes me even want to go read the book, and it's something that that doesn't. When I see art, I don't think too much about what the story it's from, unless I've already read it, and I don't read a lot of modern comics. But I see this, and it makes me. I want to pick up the book. I want to know what what the story's all about, and that doesn't happen too often for me. So yeah, this is a good one, and Carl Sodergren gets another
OAX attendee who picked up some really fun stuff.
Man, I'm so jealous of all you guys having a good time at OAX. But here's another piece that I really liked. Ed McGuinness, Mark Morales. This one's just straight from I love the panel layout on it. I mean, it's it's a huge splash at the end of the day that he's inset these characters. He's done these they've done these really funky panel layouts to kind of break things up, but I really like in these in this first panel here and the second panel there, how you're really just seeing the background of the splash behind them, and instead of carrying the web to the character's cheek here, they've left that as a white space in here there. So it's like they're playing around with our eyes on this piece. I'm like, where to focus and follow the story. And I just think this, I don't know, it's a smartly done page. And I love the, we're so used to seeing the spider webs all like taut and everything. And this is like a roller coaster, of the way the webbing is done in here. And I don't know, I just like this piece, and I don't even know what it's from. That Spider-Man Deadpool 9 got me, but I'd love to see what the rest of the book look like. Were they as this creative?
That's a good point. Yeah, because this, like you're saying, this stands alone. It's very cinematic, like a movie poster almost. If you just put the title there at the bottom, you'd be like, yeah, I want to know what's happening in this thing. And George has a great eye, anyways. So he always has a great eye for design and something unique.
That is so very true. I got my like on there, but George, you did well. You always do. So no, that's a good one. Then let's see Ian Bertram, the variant cover. You got Colossus and X-23 on it. I don't know, Bertram's always just going to draw like awesome stuff. I mean, this is kind of like, I guess, in contrast to that Heritage pick I had earlier. I mean, lots of detail, but different, right? I mean, this thing is just, it's sick. It's so beautiful. It's a
great take on Colossus. I mean, this is something really different, and he looks like a Russian farm boy, battling it out somehow.
Exactly. I mean, he's getting his the steel whipped out of him. I mean, look at this guy. But I love it. I don't know what all the what the design choice is here. I know Bertram does a lot of that. I mean, this amorphous stuff going on behind him, but all this, it's beautiful in its own weird way. It's grotesque, but it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. I mean, I would love to own this piece, just because I've always loved Ian's work, and I mean, this is just a fantastic example. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it suits his. He brought his style to it and really made it his own and made it work.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I'm blown away. So this is in Brian Lake's calf. Yeah, Brian Lake's calf gallery. Well, congratulations, Brian. Cosmic Ghost Rider, Dylan Burnett. I like Dylan's stuff. Dylan's with Cam, I think. I don't know why I'm kind of picking up the same similar kind of guys, but I've got like an Ant-Man page from Dylan, and this stylistically, this is like more polished. I like I like the piece that I got, but I see this and I'm like, I like the direction he's taking his style in terms of his characterizations of with anatomy here, and the way he's kind of just taking liberties with stuff. And I'm sure that just comes with experience, right? I mean, but I love this page. I love the way the thing is drawn. Where with the light on him, how he's drawn the textures of the rocks over here, and then over here he's just kind of, it's all black, and he does little line work to kind of give an idea where the shapes are. His eyes are black with just little white dots in them. I mean, he practically looks like Frankenstein here in the way he's drawn him, but it works, and I love this piece. I really do. Makes me want to go back.
That's an interesting point. I wonder how far removed this is from some of his earlier work, or even from a couple of years back. And is he feeling more confident? Because it feels a lot more heavy with ink than some of the other pages I've seen from him.
Right. I mean, I can pull up the page I have. I mean, you don't see any of the this mid-tone work in it at all. It's but kind of the figurative stuff is sort of there, but it's not. I mean, this is I wouldn't have guessed it was him until I saw the name, because I was drawn to the art immediately. You got you get Cloak and Dagger in the back. But again, I'm very curious to see. I should, like I say, I think I might go to Cam's site afterwards the show and just see what's available, because this is definitely a leap from what I'm used to seeing.
And with the character design, the artist is very confident in their vision. Like that that gambit is very different from any that I've seen before.
Right. Yeah. No, I've never seen a gambit drawn quite like that before. Yeah. No, but again, that's why now I really have to go. I mean, I want to see, are there other pages from this book up on his site, and are they available? I want to see how the rest.
Well, if it's Cosmic Ghost Rider 3, then no, because Rob has them all.
It is 3. Then there you go. I guess I won't find it out. Well, congrats, Rob, since you got them all. I had to pick this one even though the scan was small. Let's see who's someone's Calf Gallery, 16 years old. Calf Gallery, and now it's called My Imaginary Friends. So God Loves Man Kills, Brent Anderson. Obviously, this is just an awesome page. I mean, it's such a important story, I think, in X-Men lore. But this thing's beautiful. I mean, I haven't gone back and read this book in probably 12 years, but I see this page and it makes me want to go back, because the art was just striking, and then when they switched to that graphic format, I mean, I remember buying this at my the comic shop in Cleveland. It's like I had to have it. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're doing an X-Men book in this oversized style, and this thing is this is great. I mean, so even with the smaller scan, I'm sure this is like absolutely beautiful. And I think when I scrolled down to see one of the first comments, was it David? Yeah, museum worthy. And I agree. I mean, something like this is Brent Anderson at his best. His work on this book, and you get so many of the team in this piece. If a page from that book were to hang in a museum, this one probably should be there.
Yeah, I think probably the size of the scan is what put me off of it. But I know Jason D'Ambrosio and I think James Siegel as well are very fond of this book, and it just is compelling to look at, even as someone who's not familiar with the story.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, it's definitely one of the more important ones, I think, in from this period, without question. So yeah, whoever my imaginary friends are, say now, okay, I'm kind of curious. How often do they post? Now this is going to become a part of the CAF update, is seeing, okay, they've been on the site for that long. All right, so the 16-year members, they've only posted in 6 of the 10 of the 16 years have they posted art to CAF. And most of it here at the end, right? Been a member since 08, did a little in 17, and then we've got 2020 to 2024. So somebody who was around and maybe using CAF just for communications now is posting more regularly. Oh, they have a Joshua Middleton in their CAF gallery. What could it be? Well, several pieces.
Several, wow.
Well, I had no idea. All right. We have some NYX prelims, it looks like, right? Cool. Very cool. Well, there you go. I don't know. Josh probably is working right now. It's probably that time for him. But anyway, so very nice. And last pick here. This was I don't know. I came back to this one a couple times. I'm not a big Spawn fan, but it's just back to the amount of detail in this piece. This Rob Willis piece. Again, not somebody I'm super familiar with, but I liked it. I thought that they're just, it was funny. Like I was actually, I kept coming back to just the shading behind the shield and the arm and the back of the shield. I don't know. I just thought this thing was, you could look at it and say it's just like over rendered, but I don't end up feeling like that. I actually really, I really like this piece a lot. And it almost doesn't matter that it's Spawn. It could be any barbarian riding whatever this horse demon creature-y thing is, but
well, without the cape and the chains, I think you're absolutely right. It almost doesn't read like Spawn, other than the design on the. Is it like a medieval Spawn or something like that?
What was it? Yeah, medieval Spawn. Yep, and I commissioned too. I just like it. I think
you're right about underneath the shield. Like that's a particularly surprising spot that just really grabs you. And
it does. There's something about it. I don't know why. I could come back. Yeah, there's like some Barry Windsor Smith lines in it. Because like that kind of cross hatching is very Windsor Smith. So there's some interesting stuff going on in there. Maybe it's not carried over throughout, but it's good. It's solid. And I'm reminded of that piece that had the cutout that everybody, I think it was with this artist too, but the style, the guy is talented. That's for sure.
I believe you're correct.
Yeah.
And I think with this piece, I think I would have been guilty of probably I glossed over the thumbnail because it probably it did look a little bit too modern.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure how I ended up on it, but it ended up being in my top 20 in it. And so I just kept going back to it, and I had to go with it. So, and I didn't think I'd ever picked anything by Willis before. So there you go. There are no, that's right, Marcus. There were no prices on any of these. So, all right.
I triple checked mine for pricing and for digital art.
It happens to all of us. It's kind of unavoidable not to pick up a few of those, but yeah. Well, there you go. We did it, man. We got our 20 picks in, and
that was fun.
Yeah, we did. We got under the 3-hour window, so that's good. I'm very happy with that. But yeah, we got to do more stuff together, Mikhail. We don't hang out enough. We got to figure out more things we can do together virtually. I don't know what we got to do. Maybe we should convince Larry to let us do a collector conversation in April or something. We should just volunteer, and that way we can we'll be at
But
Larry's
I gotta say, Larry's been killing it with bringing some
Yeah.
really good ideas and prep work, and he's bringing a lot of collectors that haven't been on the show before, into everyone's consciousness. So I think he's doing a great job. But I did have a couple ideas, so I'm going to drop you and Kasra an email at some point.
Please do. Please do. We there was we haven't had the opportunity yet, but Kasra's literally been like thinking of things that he wants to do over the last 9 months, so we just stayed focused on OAX and didn't talk about. So I know him. I'm sure he's got like reams and reams of notes, but there was something that he and I talked about probably 6 months ago that where your name came up in the conversation with it, because but I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on things too, because at the end of the day, we want everybody doing things that that feels right. But yeah, like I say, I appreciate the time that you put into the stuff that you do on the channel and for the site and for me and it's
well, shout out to Chris Norick, doing the picks every week. It's tough. It's fun. It's informative, but it is a time commitment. But I again recommend anyone give it a shot. It really is. You learn a lot about the site and about the people who are using it and the kinds of artwork that there are. So definitely give it a shot.
Yeah,
and,
indeed.
Yeah, but it was fun. I always enjoy doing it.
Johnny
And
McCloskey.
I think Kasra is going to probably reach out with more details, but there's a meetup in Chicago, and I think we might be trying to get something going in
that's
SoCal.
right. I forgot about that, because he's going to be, is it later in March?
I think
it's March.
Yeah, he'll be in mid-March. He'll be in he'll be out west. So
Okay, that's true. We'll probably be making note of that too, because he said he wanted to try to get something together, and that you might be helping him orchestrate that, if possible.
Yeah, we added some fun ideas. So if there's people in the area, reach out and we'll get something going.
I think there's a fair number of collectors down in the SoCal area, aren't there? I mean, or do you...
Everyone I know is in the LA area. Not
Okay.
so much. I don't know as many people in my vicinity, but we can maybe find a middle ground and get something going.
Well, all right.
We even thought about potentially doing a trip to the Comic-Con museum. There's like a Stan Lee exhibit and some stuff, so that could be fun.
Oh, that would actually be, yeah. If you're there, you should. All right, man. Well, listen, I appreciate it. Thank you for doing it, and we're just going to sign off together. The show's over. I got nothing else
Sounds
to do,
good.
but thanks for hanging out with us all this time. And when the show's over, please leave comments. I think it worked. Yeah, I know, Mikhail, you left a few comments on the show last week. We definitely got a few more views than I would think would have been normal. So that was a fun experiment to see what would happen. But yeah, if you can on Saturday, I've got Brent Peoples on at 2:00. I've actually never spent any time or talked with Brent before, so he's somebody it'll be interesting to talk to an artist I know not a lot about, but we'll be doing that on Saturday at 2:00. So enjoy your day off tomorrow, and maybe I'll see you on Saturday. So have a good night, everybody.
Good night.